What's up? It's Nina and Jayne Theory. We're here to talk about The Expanse, episode 8, Hard Vacuum.
Yes.
It was really intense. It was a really cool episode. I enjoyed it. But before we begin, because we will have another special guest joining us. He is very special. He's also part of the Rogue Entertainment crowd. Sporking News podcast is supposed to be joining us, but he's having a little bit of a delay. So hopefully he'll get here soon. So we'll just we'll stall for a little bit, see if he'll join us. So Jayne, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Me too. I'm so happy that we're doing this show. I love the Expanse talk that we do. We already got a couple people in the chat. Hello, Null White and Scott Murphy. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here. Please smash the like button. Share the link out there in the social medias. I don't know if you guys have Twitter or Facebook or what's Facebook anymore. Anybody? No.
Yeah.
I'm not into Facebook. I haven't been into Facebook for a long time. But yeah, so, Scott says, I got the reminder.
Woo!
Good job. Yay. Josh is here. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
So I went out today with my friend to have coffee because I really needed to get out of the house. It's just been like working nonstop here on the computer. And it's just like, once in a while, you just need to get out.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've been quarantining without quarantining. It's just happening naturally to me. So I was like, okay, man, I got to get out of here. So I did. And it was fantastic. It was a great time out.
Well, that's good.
Did you like this episode, Jayne?
I love this episode.
Yay. I liked it too. Can't wait to talk about it. I'm just stalling it a little bit more and then we'll start. Let's see here. We got, I didn't last week get reminded, damn YouTube. I know, freaking YouTube. It's like I never get notifications for John's streams or some of his videos.
Yeah, I don't.
Never. And I repeatedly stalk his channel. So you would think that the channels that you stalk, you would get a notification for, but that's not true. It never happens. So I'm definitely a stalker in some cases. So that's okay. I admitted that online. Yeah, getting out is good. I just needed some air. I got into it with a bunch of Twitter weirdos last night, and I hate Twitter. The lesson here is don't get into it with Twitter weirdos. Yeah, but I enjoyed this episode too. It was great. I thought that there was a bit of time where I was a little confused, and we'll get to it.
Oh yeah, I think that was intentional though. There was a part of it where we weren't supposed to know what was happening.
Okay, so then I didn't because I felt stupid. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Am I like dumb? I don't get this. But yeah, no, then I kind of clued into what she was doing. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so we'll start, and when Scott joins us, he can join in the conversation. Let me just and last week when I did the, how I played it for a minute. I got a copyright thing for that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so
I have to be careful and make sure they're still images. I mean, I cut that part out. So it's fine. But they did give me a little, it wasn't a strike, but it, the copyright claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always dispute those. I dispute them on all of my review videos.
You do?
They lift it.
Good to know. Good to know. Here.
Scott says Twitter is a microcosm of evil.
Hello, Curtis.
Hey, Curtis.
Yeah, Josh says Twitter is the worst force of humanity from what I hear. Glad I'm not on it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it brings out the worst in you.
It really does. That's why, like last night, I was not in a good place. Scott is right. Twitter's the macrocosm of evil. I kind of agree with you, man. It's kind of really like, okay, here's the thing. I do enjoy talking to my friends and my community, like Jayne, because Jayne, like, you know, we found each other kind of like in this Phantom Menace and we connected on Twitter. So, you know, like there's that aspect, the social dynamic and like keeping in touch with, you know, the group of people that you're in touch with. That's kind of what I use it for most of the time. But if you get into it with other Twitter weirdos, that's when it becomes a problem.
I wish you could just sort of have two Twitters, like the public Twitter and your own little bubble.
Yeah, kind of like
the people you deal
Instagram.
with.
Yeah, kind of like Instagram. Like you should be able to well, I mean, I guess you could turn your Twitter private. They do have that.
Yeah, but you still see all the other crap. That's the problem.
That's yeah. Yeah. Curtis says I'm off Twitter. Good. Don't get on it. Don't get on it unless you need to. Like you have a channel.
Yeah, that's like literally.
That's the only reason I use it for.
Only reason.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Spread the word that like there's live streams going on. Yeah. So Jayne like groups within Twitter.
Yeah, those are cool. It's just that when you're on Twitter, like you just scroll through and you see all of the other craziness happening.
Too much crazy. Too much crazy. That's why I have infinite hope. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
Yeah, that's why I have infinite hope on Fridays because I'm so sick of all the BS going on in the world that I was like, okay, like we need to balance things out. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, hold on. I pulled this thing up now. That's what she said. Don't need to share audio. And are we good? Are we seeing this? No? Damn it.
I see.
Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Ooh, we have the Ginger Ninja in the chat. Hello. Hello. I like your name.
Me too.
Ninja. Excellent. Welcome. We are about to begin this awesome review of The Expanse.
The Expanse.
Yes, hail The Expanse, for real. One of the best shows out there, guys. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. So we started the episode with Aimless Amos, right?
Yeah.
Was it Aimless Amos?
I think so.
Oh no, this is the yep, it was Aimless Amos, and they were like biking through the place, the marsh. And they were going to oh my god, that scene. Oh my god.
Like really?
Like, what? Really? This was I was like,
they're literally like wild animals.
and then the worst and best was that they like zoom in on her and she's like, yeah, I'm flushing out all the toxins, and she's like taking a massive leak, and I'm like, dude, that is it's graphic.
That was gross.
It was gross. There she is, flushing it out. Just flushing it out. I was like, that's
next to a building. You can just go in the bathroom.
I know. It's like they've lost all like, oh my god, an asteroid hit, and like we can't even use the bathroom anymore. Like
really? It's so stupid.
You can't even find a toilet in that massive abandoned building right next to you. Come on.
It's not a post-apocalyptic time. It's really
not yet. Not yet. Like give it 9 months, maybe, after a while that, you don't have any food and water and whatever, it'll get there. But I mean, come on, man. Come on.
It's been days. It's been days.
I think it's been like what, 3 weeks or something since it
hasn't really been 3 weeks though, because he was visiting her when it happened.
Yeah.
So it hasn't even been that long.
Scott says, I'm liking the new pilot for the Raw Sea. However, the last 3 episodes have been one hell of a slow burn. Yeah, they've been a little slow.
Yeah.
Well, except for the last one. Wasn't that slow? I like the space fights. That was good.
Any of the space battles are good.
So good. So good. Every time they're like walking in space, I'm like, yes.
it's so amazing to watch them do that because it comes
Mhm.
so naturally to them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do we ever get to a point where walking in space is like walking outside? I don't know. That would be
This
so
was the
cool.
first double piss scene ever. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any sort of double piss scene. I don't remember
It's so
seeing anything like
unnecessary.
this before. Well, we've been frozen on the screen long enough. Oh my God, she's definitely giving it over there. So then she's like
And then just okay.
that. Yeah, she talks about like her food, like being this protein bar she's eating is better than prison food. Which, oh, look at the handsome face.
Well, Amos
Which
is handsome.
it makes sense that that's better than freaking prison food. Um, Not White says don't need to see peeing. I know. I was just like,
Right.
what? It was a little bit unnecessary.
It was just so stupid.
Um, Going to the bathroom is real.
And there's so many around because there's so many abandoned buildings now. Like,
Mhm, mhm,
none of
mhm.
this makes sense. Or you could have gone to get toilet tissue. That could have been an option.
Jeff Beeler says, Peaches and Amos are acting like an old married couple, right? They kind of are. Like they're like peeing together. Like
They're acting like an old married couple of animals.
I just felt like that scene was I mean, like, okay, you can like she was trying to say like she's peeing out the toxins or whatever, right?
Well,
But
yeah.
you didn't put a pissing scene. Like you could have just like she could have come out from behind a tree and then being like, yeah, I flushed out all my toxins. It's like I feel great. Like it didn't have to be like you actually
They're
hear it.
out in the
Like
open.
yeah,
This the whole
so
thing
weird.
is
I
just
mean this. You know what though? This is what Scott's saying here has like he has a point because the Expanse is all about the details and the realism. So they're peeing, and that's real. I
well, I
guess.
think but it's not real how it happened. Like, the scene itself was just ridiculous and unnecessary.
I mean, they don't have any shame at all. I guess in the future, I don't know. I would. I'd be like, Amos, I'm going behind that tree. Like, damn it. If there was no toilet around, like sometimes you gotta go in like the woods. I get it.
Yeah.
Mind you, they were right next to a building. I don't know.
They were I mean, yeah.
Null says showrunners like golden showers confirmed. Oh my, I don't know about that. That's
And
crazy.
not only are they next to a building, you can see there that they're right next to trees. Looks like a
Mm.
forest.
So I guess it wasn't just me that thought it was weird though. So you thought it was weird too.
It was incredibly bizarre.
It was kind of weird. Okay, great. So I'm not alone in that. I see. This is why I'm glad we do this stream because sometimes I'm like, the hell, like and then you're like, yeah, I thought that was weird, and I'm like, okay, great. So I'm not the only one that thinks this is bizarre. Okay, perfect.
And I
So
get what
then
Scott is saying about them having to, be careful, but one could look out for the other. Like, you go and I'll be the lookout,
that's what I'm saying.
and
Like
then I
I'll
go.
be going behind a tree,
Yeah,
keep a lookout, and then and well, guys, like I mean, they go wherever.
right.
So he'll just go wherever he wants to go. He's a dog anyway. Everyone knows that he's, you know, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. This scene was weird though when she picked up the blanket and then she smelled. I guess she smelled the corpses.
Uh-huh.
Because
I
that's
missed
what
that
I
part.
thought.
I missed that entirely. I didn't catch what
Well,
she was
because
doing.
right before that, like right when she was eating here, she was talking about how like she had missed the smell like of certain things. And he was like, well, like, this can't smell that great. And she was like, it smells better than what I ate in prison. And then all of a sudden she sees this blanket, she goes and picks it up. And then I guess I thought that she smelled the corpses because, corpses have a
Right.
foul smell. And like the wind was blowing in her hair. So like I
Mhm.
figured maybe that like the corpse smell is kind of like, because I didn't get the blanket
Mm.
correlation to the corpses. I thought it was a smell thing. So then they find these dead bodies, which again, I was like, what? Like, why are they dead bodies like in the
Right.
parking lot? Like they didn't even bury them? What the hell's going
Why
on?
would they just toss them?
Yeah,
That's
like
insane.
Look at it. They
There's a
just
whole
laid them
field.
there.
They could have buried them. I don't understand that at all.
Look at the land. Like they could have just like they didn't even dig up any holes. Like what are they doing? This was confusing to me.
And
I'm
now,
not even
and
gonna
no, the building is not collapsed. So whatever
no,
happened here, it wasn't a direct impact.
no.
So
This is definitely not a direct impact, even though it seems like there was some direct impact because you got like the rubble here. So I'm
it
not really
was
sure what the hell's
it
going
probably got
on.
yeah, it probably got hit by like a shock wave or
Like a
something.
shock wave, yeah, and that's why the building windows are broken and stuff. Because in the other shot, you kind of saw the building windows broken. Um, but then, so Scott here says it was not just needed. It was just not needed. Perhaps they need to show us how difficult things are. Perhaps going into a building or is more dangerous, like the guy in the woods. I don't know about that. They can take care of themselves. We're talking about freaking Amos and
Yeah.
like crazy, weird, you know,
Super
jacked up
strong.
chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're not talking about a zombie apocalypse here. It's not like, oh, there's zombies in the building or something, or even because they've even had kind of like zombies in this show, right? Like we had
Mhm.
the proto molecule zombies,
Right.
but they're not on Earth and they're not in this building. So I don't know. Like they can take care of
It's
themselves.
civilization has not collapsed. I don't know why they're trying to present it that way. That's
But this is also another image of how they think it has collapsed because it's come to a point where they're not even burying their bodies, like they're just leaving them there. And then because he commented on about how like this building was apparently an old folk home. He's like, I think this is an old folk home, and they just left the bodies here because see, these are old people, and she's like, well, why would they just leave them there? And he was like, I don't know, because it's kinder that way or something like that. He said something to that effect. And I was like, huh? Like they couldn't even bury them? This
that
is weird
doesn't
to me.
it's just yeah, nothing. If this building is still standing, then that means that there are probably mortuaries and hospitals and things like that still standing.
Mhm.
So it just doesn't.
Crack Rock, hello again. Love your avatar. That's really funny. Says I think peeing in the open emphasizes how desolate the area was. Partially.
It's
Okay.
the countryside, looks like.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
looked
that's
like it.
like any random place in Louisiana
Uh,
today.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I've never been to Louisiana, but I've been to the countryside, like in Canada, and it looks
Mhm.
exactly like that. I mean, they could have filmed it like near where I grew up.
Right.
Yeah. Jeff Beeler says it's safer to be back to back to cover all approaches while you are vulnerable. Come on, man, they're not vulnerable. These people, we're talking about Amos and some weird jacked up chick on drugs that like killed somebody with her bare hands.
She's
Uh,
practically a machine at this point.
yeah,
So,
and she's flushing out. She's flushing out the blockers too. So I don't think you could sneak up on her. And she's got that sense of smell now, and I don't know. It was a
yeah.
bizarre scene to me. It was a bizarre scene. And listen, girls, like unless they're saying girls in the future don't give a shit, like I don't know. I feel like girls do give a shit. Like I would give a shit. I'd be like, listen, Amos, like I'm gonna go behind this tree. You keep watch and
Right.
watch the other way because I can watch this way. You watch the other way while I go.
Right.
And you can go. I mean, we have some sense of class.
But I think what they're saying maybe is that I do think if we look back at it, it's these two specific people
Hmm.
and they're simply not fully human.
That's
I
true
think,
too, 100%. Because we're talking about people who are, yeah, what you just said. They're not quite regular folk.
normal.
They're not like you and me.
Yeah.
The Gordon Good Brother channel is here. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Please smash that like and share the stream. If you know people that like The Expanse and want to talk about it, we're all here to hang out and talk about it. I used to work for, guess, wait. Ooh, something's happening.
What?
We have a guest.
Hello.
Hola, ladies.
Hola.
What
¿Cómo
is going
estás?
on? It's Sporking News. I'm in control. This is Sporking News. I'm in control. You guys don't get that? Very end of the episode? Okay, anyways.
I absolutely get that. Scott, please tell everybody who you are and why you're here.
Hi, everybody. I'm here because I was invited. My name is Scott. I'm from Sporking News Podcast. And I love the Expanse. So I'm glad I'm here to talk about this with you ladies for a couple minutes. I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to swing in because you invited me.
For a couple of minutes? Did this thing goes on? We were talking about them pissing for like 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm with you for a while. Don't worry. I got a little bit of time.
What'd you think of them pissing together?
They were back to back at least. I don't know. It is well, if you look at the two people, they are very, even though she's high class and they're both very primal, been through stuff that makes them very primal.
That's what Jayne was saying.
Oh, yeah. Wow. See?
Yeah.
I just think they don't think about stuff.
Great minds.
Now, what did you think of the dead bodies and how they're not being buried?
So again, I mean, there was this great catastrophe, multiple asteroids hit. Was it mercy? Was it these people are just a little too old, so let's just knock them off? Like, I was wondering about that. Like, what did you guys think?
I thought it was weird because it's not a zombie apocalypse, and you're just leaving your dead. Like they didn't even bury it. I just thought the whole thing was weird. Well,
if you have no power, no food, no water, we don't know how bad it was in that section right there. The thing is, they took the time to wrap them up and everything at least, and cover them. So was it like, nefarious type thing because they like tried to hide them? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out myself.
But see, that's the thing too. No food and water. It has not been a week.
Right.
Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah, it's been not that long. Cavatinho says, yeah, sure, everybody knows the smell of a dead body. Well, I mean, it smells bad. Like,
I think you know what a dead thing smells like.
Yeah, like I would assume it smells like freaking, like the worst of the worst. Like if you ever smelled like, rotten milk or something like that in your fridge, or rotten eggs, like put that together times, 100, and that's probably what a dead body smells like.
Well, oh, go ahead, Jayne. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I still don't understand why. It's just they're acting like it's been months since this happened. And it's like they're fast forwarding to this breakdown that wouldn't necessarily happen because it's not the entire country that's been attacked. So you would have resources. You would have the National Guard coming in, or whatever the equivalent is, coming into the area to provide help. And this isn't.
Do we understand the devastation though? Because all right, so an asteroid hit near that jail. An asteroid definitely hit near Baltimore, or at least close enough where there was like a tsunami.
They said there was like 11 million people died or something like that. So a bunch of
that's like nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like the continent was kind of wiped out because the Baltimore guy was talking about it, and he was like, basically, like the city's gone, like it was just completely leveled, and the sea level went up.
That was the thing. It leveled a major city. It would be like on 9/11 if they actually took out New York, but it's not the end of the.
But New Jersey would be intact, like like
exactly.
They'll be fine.
Well, that's the thing. From what they've explained to us about the devastation, they're reacting like it's 100-fold worse. That's what I'm confused about.
That's been a little bit confusing to me too. Now, Null White here says better to burn for health reasons if they can't bury them. And that I agree with that, because if there's like I would be like, okay, you can't bury it, you can't take the time to dig 6 feet holes and spend the time to bury the bodies. You can burn them,
right? Because don't forget, they're coming from a pretty cold area, and there was still like snow on the ground, and it seems pretty cold. So no way you're digging 6 feet, and maybe they just didn't care. Let the animals have them. But again, they wrapped them up and covered them, so I don't know.
Awful. Well, Oliver Meehan, hello. Thank you for being here. Says it was old folk home, no power, no food. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't know. Is it immersive kill or not?
No power, no food. It's been a week. Even if there is no power, you have candles.
Like see, actually, it showed it in this scene. There's the devastation right there. That's one of the cities that's gotten kind of like nuked.
I mean, again, one moment you think it's massive devastation, and the next, I don't know how bad it really was. That's the only thing. His storyline, I'm kind of confused on. Like, first of all, how they got so far so fast. I mean, weren't they like in Canada?
Yeah, I don't know where they were. I forget.
Don't know either. I forgot.
They were in the north. They were going north until they decided to go back to Baltimore.
Right.
Because they got to that point and she was like, I can't do a DNA check. They were like, let's go back to Baltimore.
And then you would think too by now that other people would have come and gotten the bodies. Because, okay, if you compare it to like Katrina, so there were people who died in the old folks' homes or whatever, but it happened so quickly. Like by the time when the military or whatever started to come in, that's when the bodies were found and they were removed. So is there just no assistance going out? Is the government so fractured that they aren't sending people to the site? Is that the explanation?
That's what I'm guessing, that the government is so fractured now that they got nothing going on.
It's just weird. I don't know. I understand they lost like the majority of their leaders, but again, there's always, there's military that could take over. I know they got the one guy who's like, I'm next in line. All I wanted to do was have better traffic, but
a travel guy.
Yeah.
Cafeteria Chase says, so a dead body smells similar to a woman's private parts that has UTI. Dude, no.
Oh,
gross. Wow. Way worse.
What are you talking about?
The hell?
Hopefully not. If that's what you've come in contact with, she may have a bigger problem.
Way bigger problem. Please check that out. Go to a doctor. Scott Murphy says, this world we're seeing seems like it was not that great beforehand, especially how Belters and Martians talk on Earth to Bobby and how bad Earth really is. Well, we saw that in a previous season too, when Bobby finally came to Earth and saw that, not everything was perfect and not everything's hunky-dory on Earth. We'll have the same problems even when we go to space.
Right.
There's obviously there's a huge class difference. There's the biggest thing is probably the class differences. It's not like there's poverty and then there's the rich, the elite, and blah blah blah. And so I think that's carried on into our future.
Oh, of course.
It usually does. So I think it's just.
I'm not digging. Like I love Amos, but I am not digging his storyline. Like I even like him with that girl. It's like, get off Earth. Let's get back to space.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. It's the Expanse. We need to go into space.
Well, I understand they want to give us like first person what's going on Earth so you can see the devastation. But again, like, okay, you could just tell us. I'm good.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with you.
When they had the guy standing at the dock and I think it was in Africa and that one hit.
Right.
That was enough. Done. We get it.
I told you.
They could have wrapped up Amos in that one episode. And
I agree. And they were walking in the woods for like half an hour. I was like, what the hell's going on? What is this?
Like literally, how are we going to get back? Like how's he going to even like catch up? I don't get it.
He explains it. This episode, they're going to go.
This episode should have been the other episode when when they were in the woods for like half an hour.
Right.
This should have been part of that episode.
There is a plan, though.
There is a plan. It seems like the remote area, the government would send more help to the more populated areas, perhaps. And while that's a valid point, it just also shows that Earth is like completely in shambles, apparently, because of all this. Like they're just like they have no contingencies. Like that is And that in itself speaks loads, because it just means that they were so high and mighty on themselves, thinking that this never happened to them.
Well,
that,
I mean, well, think about it. Would you ever expect a stealth asteroid to hit you?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I would.
They had their whatever it's called that they monitor, that sort of thing. It was focused at Mars because they expected Mars to use their cloaking technology to attack them.
Right.
That's where it was focused at first. So they did expect it, just not from the belt.
Yeah, they were just too and they're just too caught up. Like, it's like you're so like egotistical that you don't think even a natural sized asteroid would, like.
Well, no, they have defense against that, though. They have defense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, isn't it like that's what I'm saying though? Isn't that kind of like a faulty mentality, thinking that like all those things, like we have sensors against even the natural ones, right? Like, what if those fail? You have to have a contingency if things fail. That's what I'm trying to say. And they don't.
I understand that.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jayne. No, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, it also looks like they haven't really learned from history at all, because thinking back, I mentioned Katrina before, and a lot of that's coming back. The Canadian Mounties got to New Orleans before the Americans did.
It's true.
So it's interesting that this is part of this world's history, right? And I'm sure a lot of other things happened between then and this incident. And they still haven't learned how to address these issues.
Elvis says Earth was bad life and overpopulated before Marco hit them. Earth is done. After this, the belt will become power. And I don't know about that, because I think Mars is playing the belt and Marco, and to some extent Earth. I think they've got their hands in some dirty business there. So I think they're playing the long con. Seems like it, anyways. Mars. But moving on with the episode here. So then we have this poor Siren, or whatever his name was. He did. He did. He did. He's gone. And Marco's bummed out. Apparently, he's not really, because he's a psycho.
He's definitely a sociopath, psychopath. Yeah.
He's pretending. He's like, oh my God, my friend. But 5 minutes ago, I was going to stab you. But you're dead now.
I think it's to make his son feel even worse. But there's moments where I don't know.
He did because what he said to him was, you killed him because you brought your mom here.
Right.
But I do think part of it, I don't think he's completely devoid of actual emotion. This guy was like a father figure to all of them.
Yeah.
And so I do think he's devastated by it. But I also think, because of what y'all said, he's using it to tear down his son again as part of this push and pull thing that these narcissists do. So yeah, but I do think he's hurt.
I think he's like a sociopath. I think later, buddy. I think he wants to believe. He wants to believe like he feels this way, just like he believes he wants his family back together, and he wants his son to know his mother. He doesn't. He's thinking 30 steps ahead. He's just acting this way, so when something else happens, he looks like the sympathetic guy, or he looks like he was the one that, tried to give her, with Naomi, tried to give her a chance, but she screwed it up, not him. He's diabolical. I like him. But
you said you like him?
Yeah, but he's like 5'2".
Is he?
He is short.
Oh.
I don't know how short.
Jayne is like, my attraction level is totally gone now. Thank you.
Just dropped.
He looks really short for me.
Yeah, no thanks. So yeah, there's poor kid, devastated, and then look at his face. He's like, I killed him.
Right.
Yeah, he was already so sad, and that was so cruel.
What a power play, though. That was a power play.
Hello, Ron. Thank you for being here. So that was, I thought that, it really was in line with his character though, trying to make him feel even more guilty and manipulate him, and also kind of pretend that I know you're saying that he's not devoid of emotion because, like, you know, that guy was a father figure to him. But when you
think he is, I think he is. I think he doesn't have emotion.
I don't think so either. I think he's
a
faker. Exactly. I think he's faked his emotions for so long that now
he knows what to do.
He feels like he has to feel sad in that moment because that guy's dead.
Yes.
So he has to like be like, well, I have to be sad.
A perfect way of putting it. Perfect way of putting it.
That's how psychopaths operate.
Yes,
because,
exactly.
You know, like, this is a sad moment. I must act sad now. This is a happy moment. I must act happy now. It's kind of like American Psycho. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yep. Like, it's like Dexter. Dexter tries to learn how to pretend to feel certain ways.
Well, I've never seen Dexter, but I've seen Patrick Bateman, and it's pretty much the same thing, I'm guessing. So this dude, poor guy, feels like shit, and he's dead. He did. Yeah. And then we get Naomi, and she's awake.
What a boss move by Naomi, though.
Damn, girl.
Boss move.
Look at her. I mean, she's going through shit right here. Like,
such pain.
Look at her face. I mean, what a great actress, too. Like, she just dominated this episode, like, in every way. It was like, it was so believable. Her expressions, the way she carried herself. Like everything about it, the way she thought, because you're thinking to yourself, I'm in a ship. There's bombs everywhere.
And you know what's crazy? Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah,
this episode, like 80% of the cast was female, and I didn't even think about that until just now because what we usually talk about. Like they're just so well written characters, such great acting. Like you it doesn't matter what sex, what color, what it doesn't matter any of that. Like they're just you fall for the people or you hate that person. It's the writing
so natural.
Yeah.
Elvis says Marco gave Naomi a chance only because he knew that Naomi is their enemy, and his goal was to show Philip and Sin who those two fools, and Naomi is their enemy. That's true. That's very true.
Right, because he did not plan for her to be there, but he knew that enough people loved her still that if he just killed her, that would have fractured his own ship. People would have taken sides.
Because they like her. She has a reputation, just like the other one, Drummer. That's why he he was like, I'm not going to kill Drummer right away because she has a reputation. People respect her. I can't just kill her,
Right. She's badass.
And I also I sort of take the opinion that despite all of that, I do think he still has a little bit of emotion, and I think he didn't kill her because I think he does still like her.
Maybe the possessive kind of love. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. The Ginger Ninja says Marco is an amazing manipulator. He places the fault of all his errors on other people, and makes their success look like his. Absolutely. Like 100%. You nailed it right there, buddy. So she's just going through the ship and in devastating pain. The first thing I noticed too is when she opened her eyes, I was like, oh my God, is she going to be blind? And then they showed like the scene through her eyes. And she wasn't. And I was like, thank God she can see at
it was
least.
very blurry though. So she has serious damage to her eyes.
Yeah, so then she starts kind of like, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, sees all the bombs.
And that, I did not expect that. I think you called that. And I really didn't want that to be the case.
Oh, I knew that thing was going to be rigged. And when I thought rigged, though, I thought like one bomb to like the, what's it called, the reactor or something like that. Dude, it was a freaking overkill. They had like, how many bombs? Like, it was freaking crazy. Oh my God.
They really wanted to take out the Rosanate.
I know, I'll be bummed out if she dies. Not even.
I mean, imagine what you would think if you're in this situation. You just cross space, open space to get here, and then everything's broken and bombed, rigged to blow. What do you do?
What do you do?
You go Naomi on that shit and you figure it out.
And that's the thing too, is because she's an engineer. Yeah. She knows what she's doing. This is her being at her best, right? Like this is her just showing her power, which is not physical, it's mental. Like her power is her smarts, her brain. Now, like this scene was interesting to me because she did see that suit. Where is it? Come on now, I'm trying to pause it there. And then she saw that like the oxygen on it is low, right?
Yeah.
That's what was going on with this.
Right.
This part was a little weird for me because I was like, okay, so you can't like kind of rig it so like you get more oxygen, or there's no oxygen tanks there, or like
she had no tools. She only had that one tool.
She got that one tool. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems like she could do a lot with that one tool. The one thing I found really, she's like the MacGyver of the Expanse.
Yeah.
But like, like the part, and I know it jumps ahead a little bit, but how many times she had to go back and forth with low CO2. Like, I think I saw, what was it, like 14 or 15 attempts?
At least. Like, I think it was more.
Well, yeah. And like my first thing is when she got in there, I'm like, find the medical bay, like
right.
But they must have stripped the hell out of that.
But I think that's what happened too, because they are like Drummer and them say they're kind of like scavengers now. I mean, they're like, they rip ships apart. So if they know that they're gonna like blow the ship up, they're gonna take everything worth value. That's why it's surprising that they had one suit left in there. I was like, well, wouldn't you take the suit too? I didn't understand that. I was like,
I was thinking that too.
The other thing too I really liked about this episode and what Naomi was able to do is that it reflects, that sort of belter spirit too. That's the thing that I love so much about them. Their intellect, their ability to create things out of nothing. They're very mechanical in that way. And they
have to be to survive, right?
It's their job though, too. They're raised basically learning how to be engineers from birth.
Yes. I mean, think about it. If something goes wrong, you may not be able to breathe within seconds. Like they live on rocks that you can't grow food. You can't, it doesn't rain. There is no air. Like, I mean, they have to be this intelligent to just live. And she's one of the best. And really
Scott Murphy says she's Scotty only in the Expanse. Lady
Scott Murphy. Yeah, Lady MacGyver and Scott Murphy.
It's true.
But Scott Murphy has a point. She is Scotty. She just gets shit done, man.
And this is a really good point too. She had literally no dialogue and was still able to express a variety of emotions. This was
so emotive.
It's such a crazy episode for me that she had no dialogue, and there was just so much that was kind of like shown through all her expressions, all her body language.
Like when the comm doesn't work. When she realizes the comm didn't work, she breaks the frig down, man.
Yeah, or like when I'm skipping ahead here, but when she's like lifting that thing, I don't want to skip too much.
Oh, right.
But she was like, when she was pulling that thing and that like her entire being was trying to open that hatch. I mean, that was just, it was powerful. But anyways,
using hands that were already burned.
Yes.
That's,
She's so hardcore. But so going along with this episode though, so these guys, we catch up to these guys who just blew up that ship with a proto molecule. I'm kind of with this girl. I feel like this is kind of a bit of a setup here. I feel like the proto molecule is probably not there, may have gotten dropped off to another starship, because we know that the Martians have given Marcos the kind of like, what's it called? The invisibility thingies. What is that called?
Stealth.
The stealth. Thank you. The stealth technology. Yep. So I feel like maybe a stealth ship has already picked it up before they blew up the ship. But it just doesn't seem like that's it for that's it. Like, there goes the proto molecule. I'm kind of with her. I don't think it's that easy.
You know what? In this episode, and I understand he loves, Naomi and stuff, but Holden's kind of been a moron the last episode or two. Like, he knows firsthand how powerful the proto molecule is. He should be anybody, even his own life. Like, you must find that and destroy it.
I agree. 100%.
But Holden. You know Holden. Right. You know how he is. And that's what I love about these scenes with Bull and Monica. how every time they get new information about Naomi or her ship,
they look at each other.
They look at each other like, this idiot is going to turn the ship around.
Yeah, but I like what he said to her too. He's like, listen, I'm not gonna get into war with over his girlfriend or something like that, like or something. Like I was like, yeah, because that would be kind of weird. Because they're not really the Rossi crew, right? Like they're not loyal to him. These people are loyal to themselves and their space station. They're just kind of helping him out for now because of the proto molecule. And if the proto molecule is done, they're not going to go and get in a war with the Free Navy by themselves. Like, it's just, it kind of.
But see, I think the crew might, like, if it came down to a fight, it would probably be a fight between him and Bull. But I think there's enough faith in Holden because he is a hero in his own right at this point. There's enough faith in him that he could probably hold the crew. And that's what's so frightening to these two.
Right.
He could actually decide to just abandon everything and go look for her. That would be devastating, but it's Holden.
And I 100% agree with you. This Scott says this show has strong, how strong of a show this is in terms of how you write strong women. I love it. I 100% agree with you, especially Avasarala. She's my favorite, and she's so strong. I like her a lot.
I do like Elvis's point, though. It's her jumping. We don't know the distance. We don't know the speed. So we don't know how much damage she's undertaken to her body. But they did go at least so far as to show us that she is in severe pain. But with her adrenaline, you can fight through extreme pain.
It's true.
To do what she's doing. So it's not total plot armor, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
We've seen people who've been severely burned in house fires and things, and they still run back in and get their kid or something.
Well, so, you've heard of like 10-year-old. I've heard of like 10-year-olds or like 12-year-olds like lifting trucks off their parents because like they were trapped under. So like there's like stories of like amazing human strength and perseverity when in the face of like kind of like the absolute worst of the worst situation.
Not once did I say, oh, that's unrealistic with her. I just was like, oh my God, this woman will not stop. Like I never once thought that. Like this is one of those shows where I don't go there first.
Well, the only thing I thought was unbelievable was that there was a suit there left because I was like, let me just take it. That's the only thing that I was like, I don't know. And
it was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. So they were like, but they fix everything. They're scavengers. And they're like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know.
That did take me out a little bit. It took me out a little bit. But to follow her, like, I didn't at one moment think, oh, because like, even when she's like she's saying, repeating the message over and over again so that she will get it perfectly. And when she's like crying and doing it, like that emotion, like they should put her up for an Emmy for this.
Yes. I agree. Mind you, I don't give a shit about the awards anymore. Elvis says Proto Mall is heading to MCR and Donager class guarding the ring. Yeah, that's what I think too.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I think I definitely.
Well, do we think there's a massive coup going on with Mars, and they think they have a deal with the Belters, but actually they're just being used by the Belt? That's kind of how I feel.
I think it's the other way around. I think they're using the Belt. I think they're using Marco to get what they want.
Yeah. I was Scott Murphy. I like what he says here. What happens when and if Bobby and Alex get back to the Rossi? First of all, Bobby, that's a strong female character right there. Like I believe she can kick my ass. But like they're also
everybody can
they're not too far apart.
Avasarala would kick your ass, Scott. Come on.
But who will fly? Who's going to fly the ship? Will Alex take it right back over, or will there be like some contention between the two?
Well, that depends on what's happening next season, though. See, that's the other thing, because now they've kicked out Alex's character. Like, well, I mean, the actor.
What?
Because of all that. Yeah, didn't you hear about that?
I missed that. What happened?
There's some sort of Me Too situation, and he's gotten fired for the 6th season.
Oh, my God.
So he's not going to be there.
So that's why this guy will be the pilot from now on, most likely.
Maybe, or they might make Bobby the pilot. I'm
They
not
could also
sure.
recast it. I mean, he's not that. I mean,
Yeah,
They could recast
no, I mean
it.
he's not. Yeah, let's put it this way: on the Rossi, he's my least favorite character.
Really? See, it's my
He's like-
husband's favorite character.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's like a cowboy from Mars. Like, why do you have
Yeah.
like all of a sudden a cowboy accent from Mars, dude? Come on, you're not from the South.
Well,
Maybe
maybe the
south of
Martians
Mars.
are-
I thought he was
Martians are-
British.
No, he's like, all right, partners. Like he look, you guys been there for a couple hundred years now, or like 150 years. I don't think you're gonna hold on to that dialect. That's why I love the belt. Like the belt has that weird, like almost like a South African like dialect in a way, but it's like their own, form of a language.
I'm with you, Elvis. I think the belt is being used by Mars.
Yeah, I'm with that too.
I agree, but to that point, I think it may depend on who settled it too. We don't know where the people came from, right?
I'm sorry, he said the belt is being used by Mars. I think they think that, but I really think, oh God, now I'm just blanking on the leader's name of the belt. What's his name? Marco. Marco is actually like, he's always like a step or two ahead of everybody. He's been planning this for like, it seems like decades. I think he truly will have something where the Martians, just like the Earth, the people from Earth, they think so highly of themselves over the belt that they underestimate them.
But I think that that's also his storyline, because I think that he's starting to get like his ego is starting to get so inflated that like I think that he thinks he can outsmart everyone. But the one person that, for example, he's pushing away is the closest his closest ally, which is his son.
His son
I don't think
him.
I think his son's going to kill him too. But I
think so too.
Clay Thompson says Martians have Texan accents in the book. I didn't know that, so I take back everything I just said. Thank you, E. Clay Thompson.
Thank you, Scott.
Is that because it was settled mainly by them or by them first? Because that would have a lot to do with it.
Mars was settled by Texans.
Well, yeah,
I don't know, but
if you had people from Texas who were maybe the first couple of people to settle there, they just sort of established the culture.
Yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah. Like the Southerners.
Yeah.
I you know what? I take it back because I never read the books.
They're Lone Star State now, and they're like, fuck this. Like, we're going to become the Lone Star Mars.
Well, they always want to secede, so.
They always want to secede, so they're like, fuck this.
They volunteered to go to Mars.
That's the character. He's obsessed with that cowboy lifestyle. He's a cowboy geek. Okay. So
I'm down. I changed everything what I just said.
Great.
I didn't. I don't remember that from watching the other.
Scott is often wrong on this panel, so don't worry about it.
Yes, on most panels, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially on Rogue Entertainment, he's always wrong.
Actually, on my own show, The Dump, I'm usually wrong too. So it's all good. It's all good.
So then we catch up to Drummer here, which is again, I love Drummer too, which is again questioning everything happening. She calls them scavengers, not like, she's like, we're just kind of like vultures now. We're just like taking the dead, because what's happened here is that Marco is attacking the Belters that didn't, fall in line.
Well, we get the opposite story from his number 2 that's on their ship, which I don't believe either. I believe he's a sociopath. Go in peace. He's going to bomb your ass. She tries to make it seem like they attacked him. I don't know if that's true.
I actually do. I do buy it a little bit, because I think that what happened, this is kind of like it's a factional thing, especially even in Star Trek, like in Klingons, or like if you're like in a faction where you're like, okay, we're going to be true to like,
right.
If you fall in line with us, we'll protect you. But it's a mob mentality. Like if you're part of the family will protect you. If you're not in the family, then you're, basically like that. And these people have formed a family now. This is like a mobster family. And they're like, we're gonna protect our own, and we're setting a precedent. So like if those people attack us, we're gonna take care of our own, and that's what's going on. So I do kind of believe that is also the case, but it's a tricky situation, because it's like they're being really conniving about it, right? They're like, oh, we offered him a peace deal and they didn't take it, so now we can kill them all because they're attacking us, right?
Well, that's kind of what Elvis said too. Elvis always has some good points.
Hello.
I agree about Bobby. She went through a space recon training and doing it for 10 years. She is a badass.
She is such a badass. She scares me. And this right here, I don't remember her name. The one that was put on Drummer's ship. I don't remember her name, but she's such a good actress because I hate her freaking guts.
Me too. I just like her lipstick. She just looks like a badass. Can chat please help us out? What is her name? Because I totally forgot. Why would Marco kill impartial belters? Better option is to actually let them go in peace, and if inners kill them, yeah, exactly, yeah, because then you would be like, yeah, well, the inners always want you dead. But like, I think it's because of the very fact that, like I just said, like he's forming a mob family. They're part of a mob now, and if you're not alive,
mob family. See, this is my part. This is the point. Like at moments, I agree with you, but at other moments, I really believe he has told himself the lie of one nation so much, and I think maybe he does believe it, but he wants to control that one nation he's creating. You know, like he wants to be the greatest belter ever to live. And he realizes the arrogance of Mars and Earth, and he uses that against them. That's why I don't agree that Mars is going to kill him. I believe in the end, they believe they will, but he is going to beat Mars. Maybe not like the war, but he's going to catch them off guard when they think they have him where they want him.
Or the Martians could really outdo themselves because they have the proto molecule now, so they could that could turn on them any second, and they could have another disaster. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, what bothers me too is I feel like they're going to rush his storyline, Marcos. Where if let's say this had another 3-4 seasons, he could be the big bad for the next 3 of them. But now that they have to, finish it in one more season, they're just going to rush it and. I'll be wrong.
I hope you are, but
not the nationhood part of it. I don't really think it's necessarily a lie. Remember, this is something that they've all wanted and been striving for a while. And Johnson set them on this track to be a nation, but I think Marco wants to be a king.
Yes,
talking about his good way of putting it. Heir and all of this. That's not what Fred wanted. Fred wanted to be president or whatever. He doesn't see it that way. He's trying to build his own little empire out of what should be a country.
Exactly.
And this is, and you know what's the best way to prove that? When his son wants, to be known, he wants to make a name for himself. Marco sees that as almost as like a challenge to his authority, and he starts pointing out all his son's mistakes. Just to beat
and then
him
tells
down.
them you'll be in control once I'm gone.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Like
once I'm dead.
Once I'm dead. That's not something you want to tell your psychopath son that you're raising, because then
but what an abusive relationship they're in. He mentally abuses the hell out of his son.
Let me take a moment here just to say hi, Comic Chat. I'm really glad you're here, but this is a 5th season discussion, so just be aware if you've never seen the show. This is there's a lot of spoilers, and it's a great show, and I hope that you watch it because I can't say enough about The Expanse, especially the first 2 seasons. I mean, it's one of the best sci-fi series out there. Please,
agreed.
Please watch it. And I don't want you to leave because I need the watch hours, and I want you to be my.
I want to ask him a question. I want to ask Danny in the chat and you ladies here too. I haven't watched the movie or the show. Is Snowpiercer something I should watch?
I've watched the movie. I've never watched the show. I watched the movie. The movie's freaking good. I've
been meaning to watch it.
I have watched the show. It's not as good as the movie, but it is really good.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the movie, and it's with Chris Evans too. It was it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm not even going to tell you anything about it, Scott. You just need to watch it.
I'll watch the movie today or tomorrow. Can I respond to Scott?
And then we'll talk about it, because I do have something to say about that movie. I just don't want to say it now because you haven't seen it.
Okay, I'll check it out very soon. I'll watch it in the next day or two. Scott Murphy said something that right there. I think that Marco is in league with Mars, or he is being used by Mars. And I agree with both those statements, but I also think Mars thinks they're using him, and Marco already knows that and is going to use that to his advantage. That's what I'm trying to say. He's thought of everything, this guy. I feel like he is like a good big bad.
Oh, I agree with that.
And Elvis says here he killed those Kublai ships because they tried to rob them. I mean, can't be a pirate for a living.
That's what we've been told.
Yeah, drummer shouldn't have quit politics. But see, that's the thing, though. Like, that's what she's saying, but I think that it's true to some extent, because that's how he's conglomerating the power, because he's saying, if you're not in line with us, this is sending a message to the other belters that said no, because now they're going to be like, well, he's killing everybody. So
yeah, but see, even Drummer's crew says if we said no, we'd be dead. They weren't. Because they know it's not about being attacked. I think that's a story. I'm sorry. I think they just kill anybody that's not going to fall in line.
If that's true, then I think Corral was lied to. Because I think she comes across as someone who's pretty direct. So that may be the story she was told. But I also think I agree with what Nina's saying, because once you're outside the family, if they did do the thing that they normally do, which is attack other ships for resources, they may have attacked the wrong ship. And not really understanding, or maybe they didn't know that the ship was in line with Marco, it would have immediately meant their death. So,
Clay Thomason says, spoiler alert, there's snow.
No piercer.
Yep, true. That's true. But yeah, so then, we have this again. Another lady badass, because she does scare me a little bit. Like, I'm like,
oh, she kicked my ass too.
She's crazy. And look at that face tattoo, and she got that lipstick. I mean, I really like to hate her. Like, she's one of those people that I'm like, ooh, I love to hate you. I love to hate her more than Marco. Like, I'm like, I hate her more than Marco. I almost wish like she was Marco, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about her. She's just so much crazier than Marco.
She's a zealot.
She is, but she also, that last scene with her, though, when she was talking about her and Naomi.
Yes.
There's also, I think, some underlying sense of being betrayed.
Jealousy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, jealousy and pain.
She was hurt. Right. I think she was hurt.
Well, pain, but also I feel like it's more jealousy, because maybe she's really into Marco, and she hates that like Marco was into Naomi.
She does, but I think that's what we were set up with. We were set up to believe she's jealous of Naomi, but I think with this last scene, it's not jealousy. It's how could you forgive her? What she did to you, she did to me too. Like, how can you forgive her? And I've been here this whole time. Like, I think that's what that is. So there's a little bit of both.
She's one of the ones like Sin who was part of their nuclear family. So she feels deeply, probably more than Marco for some reason. It could be that they grew up together and they were like sisters. And for her to walk away, she maybe, I could see her.
Yeah, I could see that too. That's very good points, you guys.
Yeah.
And Larry says, Nina has only a place that discusses the Expanse intelligently. Too many of our friends ignore the Expanse. Well, I mean, that's just a crime. People, if you love sci-fi, you have to watch the Expanse. It's very good. It's very good. And I'm humbled by your statement. That is like, wow, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody really talks about this on the regular, like Gary and I think Doomcock both love the show, but they have so much they have to work on. So it's really nice that you do this, because people wanted, like, it's not a big group of us, but people want to discuss this, and I don't care the size. Like, I just enjoy, like, your chat right now is killing it. And
I
really
know, I love
appreciate
this chat, and they're coming back every week. Like Elvis is here every week. E Clay's here every week. They're like Larry. Like I love it. I love it so much. Thank you guys. This is why I do this. I love this so much. Like today when I was out with my friend, I was like, I have to go back for my live stream because it's important to me. The Expanse is important. So this is why I'm here.
Well, I'm glad. Again, I'm glad you do it. That's why I still do a Song of Ice and Fire book clubs and theory stuff because even though the show ended really horribly,
yeah,
I love
you
that
gotta do
book
what
series.
you love. Yeah, you gotta do what you love. Scott, you are so more than welcome to join us again next week. If you're down, please, you are more than welcome to join us. So then she's talking to her lesbian. Well, I don't know if she's a lesbian. I think she's bi because she was doing it with the other guy
I think
too.
they all are.
Literally with everybody on the ship.
Yeah. This girl is kind of a slut.
I hate her.
I
hate her.
Yeah, she's such a bootlicker. Like it's like 1 second she's like, with that chick, and then she's with the other guy, and then she's just kind of like, now that she's with this girl.
I understand. Yeah, go ahead, Jayne.
I think she's just trying to keep everything balanced. She's trying to keep everybody from going too far one way or the other. And
I hate that about her, though.
Yeah, me too. It's like, pick a side, man. Shit.
That's it. She's trying to play like peacemaker between both sides so not everybody gets killed. And I think, hey, I get that. But you know what?
You're dealing with extremists here. You can't be a fence sitter when you're dealing with an extremist like this woman here. She's insane. Like, she's
also going behind Drummer's back, and that's her captain, and that's what bothers me.
Yes.
She thinks she's doing it for the right reasons, and I understand at times Drummer reacts with emotion, so she has to in a way, but I think she just does it a little too much.
But that's all she's doing.
He plays with polyamorous.
I think she's just explaining to her, look, she's just upset, don't have her kids.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I guess so. I still can't stand her for some reason.
Are Belters all polyamorous? I didn't know that. Is that true?
They get down.
Is that true?
No, there's monogamy, but for the most part, they on a ship, it's free love, man. Free love.
Oh my god.
Like Romans?
Is that why why you like that, Jayne? Are you into this polyamorous situation? Okay, great.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Elvis says you need to really hear what Adam Suverete said. That was some other level tendency to quest and conquer on imperialistic scales of proportion. Suverete is a beast. Who is that?
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up. Elvis. Whoops. But yeah, so she's talking and being a fence sitter, and then she talks about her memories with Naomi. She's like, I used to know Naomi. We used to chill and hang out, and and then she picked the other side, and she's like all evil and shit. Look at her.
What do you guys think about the new? What is he? Not Chancellor. What do they call him?
He's such a cuck. He's like,
well, what do you think about him? Do you think like he's gonna get hungry with the power? I have that feeling.
I don't.
Well, he wants to look strong. I don't know.
I think he has the right idea. I mean, this is like a guy who
he's smart.
He's smart, but he's also way out of his league here. Like he's over his head, but he knows who to have in his corner. He knows who to surround himself with. Right. And so that's what you have in a good leader, though. So they're overly ambitious and they have good people behind them. I mean, that's.
Do you think that he even wrote his own speech? Because on some level, I thought that Abasarala wrote it for him.
She did. I agree with that. He even said good speech. Like he said good speech. Yeah. But I feel like he's a guy who's never been, the captain of the team. And when everyone's cheering for you, I think it's going to go to his head after a while. And he's going to forget that they are the ones that made him this, not him,
Oh, that is the war, whatever his name is the war lecturer Admiral on Mars. Yeah, I have to go back and listen to that lecture again because he gave some clues there. And that's when I thought that Mars was, they're into some shit. Like they're playing the long con there. Yeah. But like, okay, so with him though, and I'm skipping a little bit here, but like when that general, like, because he called in that general into his office, and then he was like, this dude, and he was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to say. Yeah, speak frankly. You know what? We'll get there because they have to talk first with their colleague. And then, okay, so
speech too.
We get to the
speech was great.
The speech was great. We get to the scene where the city is completely leveled. This is the kind of aftermath we're talking about with the asteroid.
Around. You got all those other buildings still standing.
Yeah, there's a lot of buildings. Although, like, they're kind of standing, but they're not standing. These are not buildings anymore, and they're completely hollowed out.
The problem with water, standing water, there's always disease.
Mm-hmm.
All the sewage is backed up into the streets.
There's a lot of dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad for a cleanup. But again, Jayne, made a good point before. There was only 3 asteroid hits. They didn't say a lot of people died. So there has to be a lot of places still that have the capability of helping them. I know Earth is like not the greatest place because there's a lot of people, homeless and stuff. But if they had to, they could easily muster up. I don't know. They did make the comment about the food supplies and stuff being low, and they're screwed on that.
But
so
why? Even if you had a flood, the food you have non-perishable items. Like the food isn't gone; it's just wet.
But see, that's the thing, though. They talked about that here, and that's why
they did.
That dude changed his mind, because there's not enough now. So and people, there's not enough to feed a lot of people, apparently.
See, what I was looking at during that conversation was back before the flood, they had a city that they ruled. They had their little turf and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now that city's been devastated. It's not there. People are going to relocate or whatever. So there's nothing left for them to rule. Not necessarily that, civilization has collapsed. It's just that city isn't there. He could
city, they won't be able to. That city's going to collapse.
He's going to have to start over somewhere. Right. May as well start over where they're going.
So, I can't. I can say this. Solitaire. Okay, I got it. Solitaire. So Elvis thinks that nobody's got anything on Solitaire, and people tend to agree. And we have Buckster 888. Thank you for being here. Who says the speech was awesome, which I agree.
Yep.
That was a rousing speech, and he needed it because Earth is devastated right now. They need somebody.
But here's the other thing too. So Elvis says they have enough food. There was never enough. You have fewer people and the same amount of food. So there's enough now, right?
I don't know.
They had no food. There was never enough. Why? It was Earth. They had enough food.
But I feel like Earth was always on the cusp of falling apart. Always on the cusp of we're just feeding people enough where they're not going to fight us. I don't know. I feel like this really put a wrench into showing Earth's weakness. It's a dying planet that uses other planets to support their needs.
Theoretically, you had all these people die, right?
Yes, I get that.
And the can.
Are you saying a can of spam? Wait a minute. Are you saying a can of spam when a tsunami came might not have gotten washed away? Things.
No, but there's less people to feed now. There's less people to feed now.
Yeah, but maybe a couple. It's not going to go bad.
It's not going to go bad. Exactly. They can go.
Spam will never go bad
and get whatever's left. It's only been
fishing.
The food is still good. If you see something floating by like an orange, you can still eat it.
Yeah, you can go fishing right in the streets.
Clay Thompson says, I noticed you have some tequila. This was one of my favorite scenes in this episode, was that he spotted that tequila.
Yeah.
And went right for it.
Yeah, he went right for it. And this is why I paused it on the scene, because he totally noticed that as they were going upstairs. It's like he didn't really care what was going on. He was just eyeing them.
I love Amos. He is
so funny.
So devoid of any feelings.
Actual emotions.
Yeah. It's survival.
He's pretty practical.
Very practical. Very without emotions, you could be very analytic. He's almost analytic. Like, this is what needs to be done, and I'm going to do it. And that's why he's like in the last episodes, like, I got to get back to my ship, because he knows that James Holden is his consciousness.
Yeah.
They all are.
This girl, since she's, Jupia's Mao's daughter, apparently, I don't know, whatever, she has like some sort of access to some place that she knows they keep spaceships. So she wants to go there, but they need to, have more arms, I guess, or, somehow she can fly there, right?
Rich. It's like these homes of the rich that are very well stocked and probably didn't get any damage. They're like domes, almost like. Are they domes?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm guessing there's they're better off than most people. So that's why they wanted this guy's help, and he's just like, oh, okay. And I thought it was interesting because at first he was like, I'm not going anywhere. This is like my home. Right. But then, Amos logically talked him into it, because he was like, listen, what do you really have here now? Like, when you run out of food, you think like, because it seems like gangs are kind of forming there now too, right? Like, because everything's going to be kind of like, everyone is out for themselves. So it's like, how long can you keep this up, right? Like, how long are you going to be able to be the big guy, the big honcho, without somebody else like coming and taking over your turf? Because now it's all about turf, right?
Yeah,
and it's gone too. But I also wonder, Amos didn't. I don't feel like they had to have his help. I feel partly that this is, this guy's. I can't remember if he's his biological brother, but they basically
I don't know. Yeah,
I kind of feel like that was part of the reason why they came to save him.
Right. Well, you know what? And then Gordon Goodbrother channel, the Gordon Goodbrother channel says, is Amos chemically altered to be unemotional? I never thought that until last season when when they were talking about somebody's brain scan and how it can't be fixed. He was really like, it affected him greatly because something was done to him. I thought it was just abuse and living in the streets and having to survive, but that one episode made me think they altered him somehow.
So no, I think it wasn't. I think he was sexually abused.
Oh no, all that. He was pimped out. He was pimped out as a kid. But there was an episode where when he was, I think they were talking about her brain scans or somebody's, and they're like, look how this was altered. How could you live like this with no emotion? And he goes, can it be fixed? And he's all like, he's asking for himself. That's what I got from that scene. So I wondered that too. Something was altered with him.
I don't know. I think he shut himself down personally.
Yeah, I think.
Well, no, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of
it. I remember that scene. I think he was asking because of his experiences, he doesn't have that emotion, or he doesn't believe that he does. And if there was a way to fix himself, I think he wanted that.
Okay, yeah, because I literally like have always thought it was PTSD, it was sexual assault, it was learning to survive and not being able to trust anyone. But that one episode made me feel like he may have had something done to him. He said they did something to me. Like I just remember that so vividly. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that again and get back to you guys on that one.
Please do. And you're often wrong, so I'm not going to trust you. Okay.
Yeah. The prequel.
Scott, do you have to leave soon? I don't want to.
I do. I got to bounce.
Okay.
But I really badly wanted to talk about this with somebody because I haven't made videos on it myself. So this was awesome. Maybe I have to start doing this too, make some videos. Thank you very much.
Tell everyone where they can find you. And again, you were totally invited back next week. So
thank you, Tina Infinity.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Scott with Sporking News Podcast. My Monday stream, I'm more like this. But my Wednesday and Saturday streams are shit shows. So make sure you subscribe, because when I get my new computer set up, I'll start doing videos again. But right now, I just mostly stream. But thank you, Nina.
You have a wrench, right? Can you please put your link in the chat so people?
I will do that. I will do that at some point soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Scott. I'm happy you made it tonight.
Thank you. And this chat is awesome. Thank you, guys. I hope you all have a good night. Bye.
Take care. And then there was two, the OG two. Okay, here we go. So then so they do their thing, and then okay, so then we get to the scene where
Great scene.
Avasarala basically makes some great points, like we don't want to, start killing everybody, especially innocent people, and like get the entire belt radicalized, because that's what happens when innocent people die. They turn to radicals, which is very true.
Very true.
I'm kind of with her on this. I'm not for brute force like this guy. What do you think, Jayne?
I mean, I understand both their points. I think the admiral was saying, we got to strike back. You can't just sort of sit back. I mean, they don't have a traditional base. There's no real military target. This is all they have, and they hit us, so we should hit them back. And she's saying, yeah, but we don't know how many. We don't know how many civilians technically are there. If we kill them, it's going to all the belters who are on the fence are going to defend themselves. They're going to see themselves as being potentially subject to attack. So they both made great points. But at the end of the day, I have to side with the admiral. I think that you can't let this stand. Now, that said, nobody talked about the protomolecule. So they don't know what's happened with it or who has it. And whatever you do, you can't do it until you have that information, I would think.
I don't know who Scott's talking about. Maybe he's talking about you, Jayne, siding with the admiral. But
I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm with Avasarala on this one, because I feel like she has. I'm with her. I'm just not with killing innocents. And not everybody was in on what Marco was doing, and what you're essentially doing is basically creating war with the entire belt. And I understand where this guy's position is coming from. I mean, he is a military general. That is what he's supposed to do.
But he did say, we already are at war with the entire belt.
But I don't think I don't believe that, because most people, like, the Free Navy isn't the entire belt. They're just Marco did a bunch of shit, and they're kind of forced into that now.
Okay, they're forced, but even the ones who aren't, let's say they're on the fence, they're being used as shields. So do you not target them?
Well, that's exactly what she was saying. She was saying that, like, or one of the senators said that. I don't know if it was her. It was actually one of the other senators that was saying that Marcos is using those innocents as a shield.
Yeah.
And but I don't believe that you should kill the innocents, even because like he's using them as a shield. That's all the more reason that you shouldn't be killing them, because he's using them as a shield. Like, so no, you shouldn't give him what he wants, because then he'll be like, look, he's killing it. You're giving them what he wants, which is to show that the inners don't give a shit about the belt, and they'll just mow you down. And they've been looking for an excuse, and here it is, so that they can call the entire belt.
Maybe it's the American in me, but I'm just like, take out the entire belt if you have to. They just bombed Earth.
Damn, girl! Now who's the Earther? Because I was the Earther at the beginning of this, this thing that started, and now here comes freaking Jayne Theory with the call for belts. Like,
that would be the logical Earther response, because that's what Earthers do. That's what we've always done. If you want to end this war, you end it quickly.
Wow!
Destroy the belt and call it a day.
Jayne Theory coming in hot with that take. Wow. I don't know what to say.
Otherwise, the war is going to last 100 more years. I mean, what are you going to do? End it.
Well, and then you have Mars, though, because
yeah, the real enemy.
I don't know, the real enemy, and I don't know.
So do you want to fight two entities? I mean, you can take out the belt easier probably than Mars, right?
But Belt has been now, supplied with Martian weaponry and a lot of other stuff. So I don't know, man.
Yes, Spike and Malice, the American in me. That's what we do.
Buckster888 agrees with you. Drummer's crew knew that the whole belt's at war now, and that's true too.
Exactly.
They did say that because inadvertently, Marco's basically, well, not inadvertently, intentionally, but now the other ones are all like they're just going to be lumped into one. I agree with where Avasarala is coming from, though. Like, I don't think that is the answer, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a military strategist.
You're always going to have collateral damage.
That's true.
In any war.
Times of war. The problem is that Scott Murphy says the problem is that no one wants to target innocents, but you have to send a message, otherwise it shows weakness. But but that's the thing, though. I don't see killing innocents as a sign of strength either.
And so, I don't see it as sending a message or showing weakness. I see it as ending the threat. If you let him continue to exist, then he's going to come up with more ways to attack you, because how he did it was brilliant. So he's going to come up with other ways of doing that, and you have to destroy him, right? So you go after his ships and you go after his bases.
Yeah. Scott also says it is like if you place your people in the position as a shield, are you not going to kill those people when they're being used? And that's also true. Like, I think like Marcos is kind of also using them as human shields, right? Like they're like, he's like, I don't care if you die. Because
he doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He actually doesn't really give a shit about the belt. He just wants power.
He wants to be king of the ashes, as they say.
Oh my God. Is that like a Daenerys line? Didn't she say that?
Didn't she say that? Varys? Was Varys the one who said it?
I don't know.
One of them.
Somebody said that. Okay, so they're talking about like this, military strategies. This guy's kind of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Then of course,
one more thing before we get to that part.
Okay.
I was actually shocked at Avasarala because remember at the beginning of this show, she was a hardcore Earther who would do anything to protect Earth.
She was torturing them.
Yes. There was no line she wouldn't cross. So this is quite a turn.
It is. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's a lot of character development for her. And that's why I'm with her, because she's learned that's how you create fanatics and people want to kill you. And you want to you right now, if like the belt is kind of divided, there are people that, let's say Marcos is actually going after and killing because they said no to him. But if you start killing those innocents, those people will all come to Marco willingly and be like, yeah, you're right. Fuck the inners. Let's kill them all. Right now, there is people like even in Drummer's circle that are questioning things, right? They're like, like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Like, what are we going to do? Like there's this, disconnect from what Marcos is all about. But then I don't know. That's why I'm with her. I think you would make a radicalized person. And you were absolutely like, this is all about character development for Avasarala. They're showing how she's just evolved. And I love that look that she gives him, like, oh, fuck. Like now I have to go against you. He was the only one in her corner for like the longest time.
But even before that, though, they were kind of rivals before she needed his help. So they've just gone back into their places.
Yes, Spike, thank you for being here. Yes, Nina Avasarala. I love her. She's great. I'm so into her, especially because she's Persian. I know I shouldn't say that, but I like her.
That's fine.
I identify. I see myself. I see myself in her character. Is that the worst? Oh my God. Larry says, stop Mars supplying belters. Yeah, see, I don't know, man.
But you can't, about Mars doesn't listen to Earth. They do whatever they want.
Hello. Thanks for being here. Scott says, I think that Avasarala thinks that if you track down Marco, you can take him out you put down this rebellion, and that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
She's all about the tact, right? Like,
Yeah.
so she wants to maybe just take him out, because once you take him out, then
Head off the snake. Yeah.
Exactly. Are you cutting the head off the snake? Well, he's got that psycho son now, so we don't know. He has an heir. Elvis says, don't think much of Drummer's circle. That's just very small circle put in there for character development to confuse you, cause millions of Belters are with Marco.
Well,
I don't know about millions. Is there even that many Belters?
It could be, but I don't think they're to confuse, really. I think they're to reflect. I think that her faction is a reflection of every faction and what they're going through. What's happening on her ship with her crew is happening with all of them. I think they probably all have people on there who identify with Marco, who identify with the cause, who agree with his tactics, who disagree. It's just a microcosm of the bigger Belter discussion.
That's exactly what I think too, because like there has to be a point where you're like, well, I don't agree with this. Like, like I don't agree with that, and that happens in our world all the time. Like we don't necessarily always agree with what our governments are doing. Right. And then but there's nothing really what we can do about it. That's a very real world reflection of what happens when the people don't really have a say. Like if your nation, commits war against another country and you don't necessarily agree with the war,
right?
But you're still somewhat complicit because that's the government that you elected, kind of thing. Like it's very that's why the show is so deep, right? Like,
and we also, I think another thing too that sort of comes out here, and you see it in the real world, these leaders sort of rising to power and taking everybody to war. But they can only do that because we don't live in a time when the people who proposed war actually fought it. Like if all of these people had to get on horseback and march into battle, you wouldn't see so many battles.
Right.
That's part of it too.
I mean, this says millions and millions in caps. So there's apparently millions and millions of Belters. Okay.
Maybe so. I guess across the entire belt.
I mean, they are in space. Yeah, I get that. There's infinite space there. So Scott says she's very tactful. That's what I love about this character. Yeah, I love that about Avasarala's character as well.
Elvis makes a point too about they can just starve the belt. Yeah, Earth could say we're not giving anybody any food.
But that was also brought up, and that's why Marco is like, we're gonna be building our own, kind of like food stuff. And then that's the other thing that was talked about in the beginning of this episode with Drummer's crew, was that the food was the most important.
Yeah.
Right? So they were like whatever food there is, make sure you take a note of that, because that's the most important. So there's definitely a food issue here. So then we have Naomi. This is when things start to really get interesting in this episode, when she's trying to find. She found the tool. This scene just, I mean, man,
wow,
this was so good. This was so good, and her looking at her hand. And my husband was like, "Why didn't she get another this thing?" Like another pulley, attach it to this pulley. And then you'll have a longer length pulley.
I wonder if there was another one though.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the only thing I was thinking about. Is there another one there? Because it seems like maybe that was the only one. I don't know. But he said if it was a longer pulley, then she would have been able to do it easier. Which I guess that makes sense. But look at her on. She was in so much pain. No words really spoken here. Just pure acting. This was heart-wrenching. And then of course, she finally opens the thing. And
her hands are so burned.
Yeah. Oh my God. So she finally opens the thing, and then that electric thingy short circuits. And she was just devastated. That was there it is.
Oh.
Just short circuits on her, and I mean that's just devastating. So
I would have been dead.
She's gonna give up. Oh, there she is again. See that? I mean, look at the acting there, man. The facial expressions.
Oh,
I mean, I wonder how many takes it took for her to do this, because I feel like, I don't know. There's so much emotion there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why this episode's called Hard Vacuum, because
See, this is why we
surviving a
should
vacuum is hard.
I'd be glad when they get the cons back up, because I would want to actually like ask her a question about this scene. Like, how did you do it? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I
How did you
mean,
prepare?
there is. Oh wait, Elvis said no. The belt can starve Earth.
I don't even know.
How?
That's not what they said.
How? I don't know
They
how that.
literally said that the belt needs Earth for food. So how
Mhm.
is it the reverse?
And Marco said, yeah, I know we need them for food. That's why we're gonna have to basically scrounge, like, and not in so many words, but he was basically like, we can't just like eat now whatever we want. We need to save until we get our production going, because they have a plan of whatever that plan is about their, I don't know, whatever the hell it's called, like their hydroponics, or I don't know what if they got some massive hydroponic things going on and plans, but he said it's going to take a while for it to kick in. So until then, they need to,
And the Gordon Goodbrother channel says some, not I, think this is where the episode should have ended, because Naomi shouldn't have been able to do any of this. I disagree, only because what she does next with the audio thing, changing it, that's a pretty practical thing to do. Like, I didn't immediately think of it, but when she did it, I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty smart and doable. So I don't, like, if you can't,
that's the thing though. I had a little bit of
out.
problem with it too, Jane. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, it was really cool that like, okay, so she sees this thing, she realizes she needs the wires, she takes the wires. It was like, okay, this is the part that I was like, what? Like, I was a little confused, okay? Because she takes the suit, but for some reason there's no air here. Right? Why?
They're saying it was a vacuum or something that she's going into. She's going into an area where there is no, where it's sort of like no oxygen, and it's a vacuum of some kind. I forget. Someone gave me that explanation Saturday. I can't remember.
But why though? Because the rest of the ship has air. She has air here. So wouldn't you be able to just pump air into different parts of the ship?
See, that's what I would have thought, but apparently not.
There was a little bit of issues.
If you open all the doors, wouldn't the air just go throughout the building?
Right. That's what I thought, and I thought the same thing about her little thing here, because if she's such an engineer, I figured she would be able to do something in order to make her suit take in more oxygen where she was, like, in, or even like my husband was even like, what she could have done is, how like that water bottle that she was drinking and there's like no bottle in there. He was like, she could have taken air in that bottle with her to the thing, uncap it, and breathe the air from inside.
That's what they were saying that wasn't possible because of something happening in that space. I really forget the explanation, because I was thinking that too, just create an air bubble.
Right.
But they were like, it's not possible. That's why she was wearing the helmet thing, even though there was no oxygen in it. It has something to do with pressurization. I'm not sure, but
I was having a problem with this a little bit. But
what was a bit contrived was that the message was worded in such a way that she could manipulate it by removing words. That was a little
right. But what's the other thing? The other thing that kind of annoyed me was that after all she went through, it didn't really matter, because Holden got, first of all, the original message that wasn't, it was the come help me one, like, the one that they set up. So I mean, all this was amazing, because she did send out this message, but apparently for some reason it couldn't go out. And then she decided, okay, well, I'm gonna, change it. But Holden got the other message.
Here's the thing, though.
He's gonna go after her no matter what.
No, but keep in mind, they showed us 3 transmissions, right? They showed us on Drummer's ship, on Balak's ship, and on Holden's ship. Everybody got the first message. And then Drummer's ship got the second message. So the other two ships are probably going to get the second message too. And Holden is going to have to put 2 and 2 together.
But Holden is not going to, dude, come on now. Holden, we know Holden. He's the hero and he loves her. So no matter what, like, even if she's like, I have things under control, he's going to be like, so I'm going to go check on her anyway. Like, I'm already heading there. Might as well just go see what's going on. Like, he's not going to be like, okay, let me just turn my ship around now. Like,
that's what we got to see. That's what we got to find out. I don't know.
I think Holden's an idiot, so I think he's definitely going for it. But
he may say, well, maybe she doesn't want us to go to it. I don't know.
Larry thinks, I think her eyes would have been destroyed much earlier. Then she would be blind.
I think she is partially blind. It looks like one eye is destroyed.
I don't know. I think, well, her eyes definitely were messed up. I know that.
One looked like really, really burned, and the other one was very blurry. So maybe, who knows?
But they do have a lot of like, what's the word here? Like medical stuff that they can do later. So I'm sure they can fix her.
The other thing too, someone else brought up was we don't know, like these people they aren't normal humans. So we don't know.
I mean, they're Belters.
Yeah, we don't know how their bodies, we know some ways their bodies have adapted, but not others. So maybe
they could definitely not go on planets. I mean, come on. That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe she's better able to withstand it a little bit more than your normal person would.
Yeah, just like in Mars, like a Martian can stand more gravity and they're like bigger built and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that that's the case for the Martians too. They're kind of they're stronger than, well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I like the oxygen deprivation and the exposure. Her body is clearly physically different, and maybe whereas I would be dead, she can survive this stuff a little bit better for a little bit longer period of time.
I thought Dominique Tipper was a force of nature this entire episode. Yeah.
She is a fantastic actress.
She is. She really is. So Scott was also a little confused. Yeah, I was definitely confused, Scott. I was like, what?
I think it was intentional. We weren't supposed to know until the end. I mean, you can tell that by how they shot it. That was supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, wow. I'm really falling behind the chat now. People are already leaving Earth and Mars on colony ships. Eclay says it's too cold, maybe. I thought for a second, I read Belter's strip yards, and I was like, what? They have strippers? Belter's on the ships. Oh no! Can you? Oh my God! Jeff says the ship loses air every time she cycles the airlock. There is no extra air or oxygen on the ship. The suit only has the air trapped inside it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. No, it doesn't.
It does. Well, I guess what he's saying is if she left everything open, there wouldn't be sufficient air coming from that one space where there is air to provide oxygen for the entire ship.
But there would be enough if you fix your suit to get more air. Like that was my problem with it. I was like, dude, there's gotta be a way to fix that suit.
Could she though?
Well, I mean, she was an engineer. She did the craziest shit, but she didn't even think about, like, she didn't even mess around with the suit. I was like, there's nothing going on with the suit. Like, there's no way you can fix it. I don't know. Bloodshot eyes. Buckster says the ship probably had limited air since it was stripped down. That's true.
Right,
that's true.
right.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And also the suit, apparently that's why they left it, because it was bunk. This is why she had track of how many times she cycled the airlock. Yes, I realized that in time.
To your point, too, they may have left it because they couldn't fix it. I mean, and that would explain why she couldn't fix it.
Right. That is also true. No sympathy for Naomi from the men. What? Everybody loves Naomi.
What do you mean no sympathy?
A lot of guys here love her and have sympathy for her. Elvis says Naomi handled it like Michael Burnham would. She is stunning and brave, real badass. Oh, come on. Oh, that's a low blow, Elvis.
That's a very low blow.
Dude, no
we
way,
saw
man.
her fight for every movement of her body.
Yeah,
like, everything was a
dude.
struggle.
Michael Burnham would have like given up the first 2 seconds. There's no way.
Or she would have figured it out the first 2 seconds. As soon as she landed, she would have had the
Because she's the bestest ever. She would have fixed the
Ever.
suit. She would have fixed the suit.
Right. She would have fixed the suit, disabled the bombs, and flew the ship back home.
Oh yeah, for sure. Clay says Amos regrew a few fingers last season. That's true. So Naomi will probably be okay. Yeah, I think in the long run, she'll be fine. Hey, citizen. Hey, thank you for being here.
Hello.
I hope you have caught up with the Expanse because that's what we're talking about. Elvis says, when audience is praising the character mostly by saying how actress is great, that's a sign of a dull character. Well, no, dude. She really acted her ass off in that scene. Like, there was no dialogue. It was all her, like, face. And I don't know. I really...
They have to do well to make it a not dull character. That's kind of what makes them a great actor.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Like, for me... I'm not a huge fan of the Naomi character. Like, I think Naomi's probably my least favorite character because I'm not into Belters and I've just never been really into her character. But this episode, I was like, this is her strength. This is what it's showing here, is that this is what Holden has fallen in love with. That she is such a strong female character. She's smart. She is driven. She like will put herself out there she will risk herself and her entire being for what she believes in. And this is what she believes in. She believes she wants to save Holden and the Rossi. That this is all she cares about.
So Elvis says she shouldn't have been able to fight for her movements. I don't understand why. There's nothing wrong with her bones, right? So why couldn't she do what she did?
I don't know.
Physically fine. But I mean, she was burned. But other than that, I don't know what else she had that would have stopped her from being able to do it.
Other than being burned, well, I mean, she did space herself. She was very.
But it didn't break anything. Like there was no.
No,
she was all of her
breakage.
damage was superficial.
Yeah, there was no breakage, but But that's the thing, though. Like, isn't her physiology built for space? Isn't that what the whole Belter thing is about? That's why she couldn't go into gravity and like be on the planets because the gravity pulls her down, whereas in space and her physiology is built for that environment. So like she can take more than, let's say, an Earther would. Like, let's say Vasarala was to do what she did, she would probably not be able to move.
He said she was stabbed. When was she stabbed?
She was stabbed?
When was this?
I don't remember this. When was she stabbed?
If she was stabbed on the ship, then she would have gotten medical treatment. So when did she get stabbed after that?
I don't remember. Okay, let's keep watching. Maybe we'll figure it out. I don't remember her being stabbed at all. When was that? I don't remember. Oh no, this thing froze on me. Okay. Again, another shot that I really liked here. I just like love these perspective shots, and she's just kind of like very. She's in a dark place, man. She's in a dark place.
She's always in a dark place, though.
She wasn't when her friend was around. When her friend was around, and she was like, they were on top of the world with that whole like going through the gate and blah blah blah. She was pretty happy.
Have you noticed how shiny they are?
Yeah, they don't get dirty, which is weird. This was a cool scene, though. I really like this scene because they're kind of arguing all about, again, what's going on with the belt, Marco, blah, blah, blah. They all get very heated. And then this weird thing happens where, somebody kind of like, knocks their water and the water goes into the air and they all start laughing and being silly and like drinking it, And it was like as if they're a family. You're in a family and you fight, but then something funny happens and you just love each other and just go about their business because that's what it's like to have a family.
Yeah.
Elvis says no, she wasn't stabbed.
Okay.
So no self.
She wasn't healing though. That was the whole point. She wasn't healed. I don't get I think you're being a contrarian, Elvis.
Ooh, Jayne calling you out, Elvis. Jayne calling you out. And she wants war with the belt now. Man, Jayne.
No, I'm saying that would be the Earth perspective. I would be a Martian in this scenario, so I would just be watching this whole thing unfold.
Got your number, Jayne. Got your number. Larry says her flying in space reminded me of the scene in 2001 Space Odyssey. Astronaut had no helmet in a vacuum. Yeah, God, I love that movie. I gotta watch that movie again. I don't really remember that.
It's so funny because the way it's presented in so many different films, in some cases they die instantly, like they freeze to death or burn to death or whatever. So how the show did it is so interesting. It makes me want to know what is correct. Like what would happen?
She did try to stab Marco, but she didn't get stabbed back. Elvis says, yes, she was healing because she was moving after her body fluids already started boiling. Oh, I get what you're saying because of okay, I kind of get that and hear me out, Jayne, because that's happened to me before. When I went to Jamaica and I got 3rd-degree sunburns. And my body fluids were gone. So when I remember I went to bed and when I woke up, first of all, I had insane cramps in my calf muscles. And I got out of bed and I couldn't hold my own weight. So I literally fell over and they had to come and give me a shot that gave me body fluids, immediate body fluids, so that I can be able to stand and not be in excruciating pain. There was no way that I was standing. You cannot hold your own weight if you don't have enough body fluids. That is true. And I've experienced it. So if Elvis has a point, if she's, because she burned her hands through the whole,
right.
What's it called? Solar burns.
Yeah.
If her body fluids are basically gone and she didn't have any water because she didn't even drink anything, right? There was nothing in that container. That could be that's a little, I get that. I get that a little bit.
But see, here's the thing. In the beginning, when she wakes up, she can't barely move. So
maybe some time pass and
that's what I'm thinking, but also we don't know how long.
But there was no fluids, though. There was no fluids, and that I'm telling you, have you ever experienced that before?
What I'm saying is we don't know how long she was out there or how much damage was done to her body. She got 3rd-degree burns, but we don't know where or how much of her body is covered.
Or if there was all her fluids were gone and in her body or whatever.
Right, because she did throw up liquid.
That's true. Oh man, if that did happen to her though, man, I'm telling you, that was one of the craziest pains I've ever experienced in my life. I couldn't walk. There was no walking. There was no standing up. But that's interesting. But Jeff Beeler says, I think the injection helped her survive, which is also another good point.
That's true.
Because she did oxygenate her blood. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe. The water bubble scene was great. Yeah, I really liked that scene. It was really cool because it went from such a hardcore discussion to this really loving, tender moment between the Belters. And you don't really see that from the Belters. It's being this tender and caring, bunch of group of people. And they're all having fun. They're all human beings, just like Earthers. It just kind of shows, right? We're all human. And that was cool. Oh, okay, and then we catch up with these two, Alex. So then they're contacting Holden. Holden tells them to go for Naomi's ship, I think. And then he's kind of like, is this when he gets the message?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah. So he gets the message. We know he's heading there. There's no way that he's going to stop himself. And then these dudes had that conversation about what they should do. This guy's like, let's bomb that station. And this guy's thinking about it. What do you think he's going to do? Predictions?
Oh, I really hope. I hope he listens to the Admiral, because that would raise the stakes a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be interesting to see.
Mm.
Because otherwise, if he does what Avasarala says, then he's just doing nothing, and I don't see them.
But see, that's the other thing, though, because when he went and talked to her, and he really respects Avasarala, and the fact that like she was basically the only person that like stopped them from being even more devastated. Like it was her, and that other guy, the general, knows that too. So I think he really respects Avasarala. So I think there's a part of him that like, even though he wants to show a force, I think he respects her so much that maybe he might lean towards what she's saying.
If Scott's right, though, and he's inclined to sort of let power go to his head, then listening to the Admiral will be one way to do it.
That is also true. It really depends on his character. And we don't know much about his character. Because he's not a character that's been around for very long. So we can't really predict, like, this is what he would do. Because I know what Amos would do.
Amos,
be like, that fucking station's gone, I know what, like, the flight guy would do. What's his name? Alex. Like, I think Alex wouldn't do it because he's more of a humanitarian guy. But I don't know. I don't know if this guy
would do it.
Holden, I don't know. I don't know.
Not Holden, Bobby.
Bobby would do it. Bobby is a warrior. She's a military person. She's about war. Holden wouldn't, because I think Holden is more reserved. Elvis says, and what happened to Naomi is 10 times worse than yours, Nina. Naomi got hit by radiation and extreme pressure difference. She needs a doctor or she would die. Yeah, I kind of feel you a little bit, Elvis, on that. But it is what it is. It's sci-fi. We can't be that realistic. I mean, come on, we gotta tell a story here. Things have to move on.
But this also goes back to why I wish they showed them physically, even if they have to use CGI. Like, I think if they were represented more like they look, it would be a bit more realistic.
Yeah, and he says injection was just to not pass out while floating. It was oxygenating her blood. I think it was an oxygenation thing so that she doesn't die halfway through.
Right.
And basically can breathe
at the halfway point. So.
But during the float, taking all those injuries, that must be treated or death is inevitable. And that's true too. But she's hoping that she can maybe get out of this. But
what did she say to the god of death? Not today.
Naomi's dead and season 6 will be a dream. No, Keith says bite your tongue. Yeah, I agree, Gordon. Jeez.
She's not dead.
Stop it. Buxer says, I think Palace Station is toast.
As it should be. Blow it out of the air.
To be honest, I think it is too, because they're gonna need a big showdown at the end of the season. I don't think it's gonna be like, oh yeah, like let's just not do anything.
I think they should hit, for every asteroid that hit Earth, they should hit a station.
Damn, Jayne. Damn, girl.
And that would be the rule. I would look for every attack on, because I believe, like, okay, so even today on planet Earth, in the real world, Americans, get kidnapped and all this stuff and held hostage and attacked, and Americans are slow to do anything. My position has always been, we're a superpower. You harm an American, we flatten your city. That should be our policy. Don't threaten or harm our people or we will end you. That should be the rule.
Jayne, man, shit. Don't get on Jayne's bad side, you guys. She's gonna fuck you up. Elvis says hitting Palace would be a huge mistake, not because of the innocence, but tactically. I don't know. I kind of agree with Jeff here. I say occupy that Palace, not destroy it. I think like that's kind of like where I'm at too. Is like, can't you just like tactfully take it over? Like because they said like there's like kind of like a black market for Marco's dealers and stuff like that there. So if you would take over that, I don't know.
But we would never leave. Like, haven't we learned that lesson in Iraq? Like Afghanistan, don't take it over. Just flatten it and keep it moving.
Hey, you're going back again apparently. So yeah, it's never ending there.
Oh, that's crazy.
I wonder why the Belters' bodies haven't changed more to adapt to space since they work in it. Well, they wear a lot of suits.
No, their bodies have changed substantially. It's just
that's why they can't live on planets.
They can't show it as well on the show because people just aren't built that way. But that one, like season 1, did it so well. It was beautiful.
Marco's real base is Ceres.
Yeah, I'd hit that too.
Yeah, I hit that too. I'm with Jayne. Take them all out. I'm just joking. I'm actually with Abbasal. I hope he doesn't do it. Yeah, so there you go. She finds out that message didn't get sent through, and she needs to do something else.
See, she's built like them. That's what I love about her character. They make her, I don't know if that's really her body or have they changed it or something, but she looks like a belter.
She really does look like a belter. And she kind of starts going back and forth about this stupid thing.
And everyone's trying to figure out, what is she doing?
What the hell is she doing? I didn't get that, man. I was like, why does she keep repeating this thing? My husband was like, I think she's going nuts. Like oxygen deprivation or something. And I'm like, no, she's doing something. Clearly something's happening. But at first she was going to different panels too. So I was like, what is she trying to figure out? Like, is she... Like I thought maybe what happened was she figured out that the message was kind of rigged to where the bombs were to be set off or something. Right. So like I thought maybe she figured out how to undo the bomb trigger with the message. Yeah. So that's at first that's what I thought was happening, but then she just wanted to send a message out, which was less productive than I expected. But
yeah, I thought it had something to do with disabling the bombs too, but changing the message is just really cool. I love that, and it's something that I think anyone in that situation would have eventually come to. If you can't get your own message
2 level high.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I didn't notice that before. See, I learned stuff here. Okay, so then she keeps doing it.
And you can tell a lot of time has passed. You can see it wearing her down.
Of it too. Because she's trying to like change the words, right? Like, is that why she's doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because she keeps repeating the message to remember like which part she's changed and which part she hasn't. Is that why?
That's why, because when she gets there, she can't hear it.
Right. Okay, so she goes a bunch of times. Okay, and then this scene, we get to this.
I love the ship. I love the ship.
I love the ship too. Look at it. Look at all the intricate set designs. I mean, this is magnificent and so many levels.
Jeff Beeler says James' background is armed forces brat. Yeah, I come from a family of soldiers. That's why I said that I'd probably be a Martian, because like going back to the revolution, my family's been military.
Damn, Jeff. That's yeah. I guess so. Kill innocents and get the gorillas who are not there anymore. My goodness.
They wouldn't have anything to be there for. It would be gone.
Hey, 16-bit mascot. Says you don't get anything out of destroying stuff. people like to use, abuse, etc.
You do. You get it disappeared. You get it
Not
gone.
your problem anymore.
That's the whole point. It's like with the Huns, destroy it, salt the fields, that sort of thing.
Now I know Jeff has read the book, so we know that he's our book kind of person here. The Belters have changed more in the books, but it's hard to cast for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is why I definitely want to read the books at some point, because there's going to be like more descriptive, like everything's going to be more descriptive. There's going to be more details, and I'm all about details. So I definitely want to read the book so I can get a fuller picture of what we're being shown here. Like I wonder like how many episodes or how many chapters they like really dedicated to this whole, like if this actually even happened in the books, like with Naomi going back and forth and blah blah blah.
It did. On my page, I found, I think it was the Expanse itself that showed a comparison between the book and this scene.
Okay, so it did happen.
Amazing, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. I thought was going to use Morse code, but no. Oh yeah, that would have been interesting too.
That would have been another option. To turn it into Morse code.
Scott said, I side with your husband because I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I mean, sometimes my husband's like, "What?" He's not enjoying this season very much. He's
really?
like not. Yeah, he's not down with it. He's kind of like me. He's even more disappointed than I am. He's like, "What the hell is this? Like this season sucks." He really wanted to go to the Expanse.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the aliens? There's nothing happening. We're going back to this freaking bullshit.
Well, that thread is always there, though.
Aw, Citizen, that's so sweet of you, but no, you need to watch the show. Go watch it now.
Watch the show.
Please, it's so good. And don't start at season 5, episode 8. Start.
Season 1 is awesome.
Season 1's amazing. I mean, it's just one of the best. God, I love that season so much. The whole detective in space thing. That's how I got into it. I mean, I'm so sad that he's well, see, now I don't want to spoil things for you. You don't know who I'm talking about. But you will if you start watching it. Yeah. We established that, Jeff. You're right. Naomi was trying to find the source of the signal and then interrupt the message. Keywords. Yep. Yeah. Now I understand because I've been talking to Jayne.
It's brilliant. It was a brilliant plan.
It was. Maybe changing the message will just draw more people in. I feel like now Marco's gonna be like, wait, what?
And that's the thing too. I was thinking like he's okay, so everybody else got the changed message, so will he. And he could just trigger it to blow.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, wait a minute, what?
She's on the
ship. Blow you up now.
Blow it up.
The ships are extremely cool, Jeff. And Jeff, he's a regular member of our audience in the Dark Matter streams that we do tomorrow at 5:30 EST on PJ Orville Nation's channel. And we had like the set design guy from Dark Matter, I forget his name, on the show a couple of weeks ago. And he was talking about like all this kind of stuff because they built the sets on Dark Matter and it was like freaking amazing. And so he was just like talking about like that guy was a genius. So like, and he said that his team works on the Expanse now. So like, it's like I can see some of the stuff that's a bit kind of similar to what was going on with Dark Matter and the Raza. Like you have like the paneling and I mean some stuff is like really kind of a little bit similar to some of the stuff that we saw in Dark Matter, but a lot higher budget. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's got a lot higher budget. So then in this scene, Drummer is once again, just she's not feeling what the hell's going on, right? Like she does not like this lady. Then she tells her about Naomi and what's going on because I think they got the message, right? And then she tells her that Naomi's dead. She's like, Naomi's dead. She floated herself. That is a 100 term. I don't know if you've ever watched that show or know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so she floated herself and And that was the other thing too. Like I was shocked at the beginning where the kid didn't see her go into the station because I guess he stayed back. So they didn't know that she's still alive. They thought she died.
Yeah.
So then, like, I guess Marco sent a message to this lady here, telling her that she's like, that what's her name is dead. Drummer freaks out, wants to kill her. Then, I mean, has this really emotional moment here, which I thought was
that was so good.
That was so good, and you could just tell like she's just freaking devastated, and then starts to drink the bottle, which I thought was kind of sad because I was hoping that she would drink the bottle when Marcos was dead.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show how devastated she really is. She just
the other thing too is we don't know what she's gonna do next because she also is a wild card. She could do something crazy.
I think she's really gonna do something. I don't know. Because in the end, she was kind of like just floating there, like really devastated. So I don't know if she's just gonna kind of go into her own shell here, or if she's gonna like be like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Great scene.
No, wait, it says Dark Matter went from okay, good to stupid in a few shows. Do not agree with you. I think Dark Matter went from like good to better to the most amazing thing ever, and then they canceled it. That sucked. Dark Matter had artificial gravity, which made it easier. That's true too. Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Curtis. The way their ships are flying, they've created gravity in a way.
No, because they're always walking around in those boots. They're being held down.
Oh, I always thought it was.
Okay. And like their cups and stuff is like gravity cups. Like I think they're like what's it called? Like they're magnetic, and that's why they like that everything sticks is the magneticness of it. Oh. And that's why when that guy spilled the drink, like when he hit it hard enough, the water came out.
That's okay.
And was floating because they don't have like they're in. That's why they're belters, because they can just hang out in very, very little gravity, right? Like it's enough to be able to, just hang out and just be in like those boots that are
body
around. Mm-hmm. Floated is a general term these days. That's true. But it all started from the 100, man. That's the first time I ever heard it. Go float yourself. That was a thing. We got Scott says she's going to do something. She is a firecracker. That's why I love her. Drummer rules. Yeah, I feel like she's gonna do something too. I feel like it's one of those things where she's gonna snap and it's gonna be like, all right.
Yep. And they keep referring to her temper, so I know that's building up to something.
Yes, because she was like that older lady was like, yeah, that famous drummer temper. It's a thing to behold.
Yeah, like chick, you're gonna see it. You are gonna really see it in a minute.
Mm-hmm. So then she's doing her thing, more breathing stuff. This was the scene where she's talking about that temper and the fact that she knows Naomi and that they were friends, and how she's kind of glad she's dead now. Right?
Well, she says it, but I love that scene too. You can see in her face that she's saying that, but underneath is something else. Like she does.
I think she's feeling a loss on some level.
Right. The acting on the show is insane.
I don't know if that's a relief though. Maybe she's just kind of like, I'm just glad she's gone finally, and like I never have to care about her again. Because I mean, they do seem like rivals. I mean, she really didn't like Naomi very much.
I think she did before though.
Yeah, but think about it. Like if you've ever had a friend that you had a fallout with, like if they die, maybe you'll care about her for like a second, and then you'll be like, well, whatever, she's gone now.
I don't know. I think I saw a little bit of sadness there. She's tough, and she's not gonna. She keeps telling herself that she was a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
She has to at this point. She has to believe it.
Elvis says they use thrust as gravity.
That's what I was thinking.
Keith says, when it's all said and done, I suspect the name Rocinante will be as respected as sci-fi as Enterprise and the Millennium Falcon. That's interesting. Well, I mean, it was starting to. That's why people really respected Naomi, because she was part of the Rocinante crew, and like everyone from the Rocinante, they're already being respected. Jeff says drummer has lost another loved one to Marco's powerful scene. Yeah, I mean, that's 3 down for her now, or so she thinks, because we know Naomi's still alive. But
when she screams, like, you could feel that pain.
You really could. I felt it. In the Expanse, ships are built as buildings. That's how they use the thrust as gravity. Interesting. Both Battlestar Galacticas. Ooh, interesting. So then we had that scene where they do rotate.
The ships rotate, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. Yeah, so there she is, floating, drinking. I like that her fucking mascara is finally running. It's always perfect. I'm like, dude, like, how do these people have perfect makeup all the time? Then I think this is when she hears the other message, right? Yeah. Look at her face.
She's surprised.
Oh my God. She's alive.
No, she's dead. It can't be. She can't be alive.
Hey, Hetty. Hello. Thank you for being here. Go watch The Expanse, Hetty. You'll love it. It's a great show. It's great sci-fi. If you like sci-fi, you'll like it. We're talking about the newest season, though, season 5. And we're almost finished. We're basically done. Episode 5 of the 5th season. Or episode 8, sorry, of the 5th season. So we're just, we're talking spoilers. But thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. Boxster says 888. Boxster 888 says, you see the pain in her face while she talks about Naomi. Yeah. That's true.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, she, as much as she calls her a traitor and she, she feels betrayed, this was her family.
Yeah.
So there's no hiding that, her feeling about her being dead.
And Jeff says some big ships rotate. Yeah, and I remember like that big ship they had in season 1 or season 2, the big one with that they stole from like those religious people. Remember that one with what was that one called? The Ark? I forget what that thing was called. But that one spent.
Okay,
that thing looked cool. Then we have Larry. The rocket engines are on too long. They don't have infinite fuel. Woo, infinite. So then they hear the message and they're like, oh my God. And this was such a cool,
so
I love that. Like, it was just so mesmerizing, and like you just kept hearing it over and over. But I think that I think I'm right though, and I think Holden's not gonna give a crap. He's gonna go. He's gonna go check her out. Come on now.
No,
it's Holden.
He's gonna figure it out. See, that'll be his figuring it out would be the most unbelievable part of the show.
It would be. Like, I would be so shocked if he doesn't go, Jane. I will be super shocked if he doesn't go and try and rescue her or whatever. Like, because it's gonna be like, wait, like, this is such a weird message. Like, he'll be like, because it is a weird message. It seems kind of almost like made up, right? Like, yeah, because it was a code. Like, it seemed coded. So he hears that other message that she's in trouble and she's in distress, and then like there's this other weird kind of robotic message being like, I'm in control. Like, I'm just putting myself in his shoes. If I received a message from my husband like that, I would be like, I'm gonna go see what the fuck's going on. Like, I'm already heading there.
But the
not like
question
turn
would
around.
be, why is the message changed? What is she trying to say now? Like, hopefully he takes a break and pauses a little bit to think it through. But again, it's Holden.
Well,
So
and he's got the other guy now that was like, I'm not going to rescue your girlfriend. Like, so maybe that the other guy is going
maybe
to be
he'll
like, no,
stop
dude,
him. Yeah.
no, we're
Maybe
not going.
he'll physically stop him, but I don't see that happening.
I
Holden.
don't see that happening either. I think he's going to go. Unless I guess the only reason that I can see him not going, maybe no, but they're way too far out. I was thinking maybe like Amos will somehow contact him and be like, we need because like when they get off the planet, they'll be like, hey, he'll be like, hey, because he's gonna try and contact Holden first, obviously.
Right.
So he's gonna be like, hey, boss, like, I just got off the planet. Like, where are you? And like maybe he'll go and meet up with Amos first. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. I wonder, like, wait, how many? We have 2 more episodes left. So in two more episodes, we got to see Amos get off the planet.
Right.
Meet up with Holden. What's going to happen with that dude's decision with at the space station? Are the Earthers going to what's it called? Like perpetuate the war, or are they going to listen to Avasarala? What Drummer is going to do? What Marcos is going to do? Because now he's found out that message changed, and Naomi's probably alive. What's his son going to do? Because he's going to find out his mom is not dead. So there's a lot left to uncover here. Predictions, Jayne. Prediction for next episode.
Predictions. Let's see. It's so hard to predict, but based on everything that's being said, I think they're building up to
and of course the proto molecule. Let's not forget that. That one's on its way to Mars.
That and the aliens.
And the aliens.
I do think that Holden is going to try to go back. So I think you're right about that. But I think that Bull may stop him physically if necessary. And that's
what Elvis is saying here too, that he's out of bullets and that Monica and Bull will not allow him to act dumb.
Right.
But you guys really think that he gives a shit about what those guys have to say when it comes to Naomi? He'll be like, this is my ship. Go fuck yourselves.
They may have to knock him out. There may have to be a mutiny of some sort. And I think Bobby would probably figure out what the message is trying to say.
Gordon says Naomi expects Holden to not come in control. But that's the thing, though. She's not, because she's on a rigged ship. She just doesn't want him to go there so they don't blow up. Like, somebody has to go and rescue Naomi. Like, they're going to show up. Somebody's going to go there. Like, it's either going to be Balix, or
it could also be Philippe. I think he's going to side with his mom in some way. I don't know if it's going to be killing his dad. I don't know if it's going to be rescuing her. I don't know if it's going to be sending out a message. But I think Philippe is going to make a move because he tried to make a move with his father and that didn't work. He shut him down. So being his own man, that's in his head now, that's been reinforced by Naomi. I think that he's going to make a very strong strategic move to help her or the Roxy. If not this episode, the next one.
Null White says Martians and Belters can't travel at full G thrust. UN Navy should use that as an advantage in attacks. Interesting. Hetty says, dum, dum, dum. What will happen next? Yeah, that is the question. It's true. We really are at that point right now. Yeah. Curtis says, I was thinking something I really like about each episode of The Expanse is they are an hour long with no commercials where the Mandalorian are short. Yeah, well, I like longer episodes too because, well, I mean, I feel like The Expanse needs to be an hour. I mean, hell, I could watch The Expanse in 2 hour episodes. Yeah. Yes, the next season is the last for now. They said it's a break. They've said it's a break. We don't know if that is gonna be it forever, but apparently there's a break in the books. Like there's like it speeds up 30 years or something like that. So they're taking a break for that kind of 30-year time jump, which is kind of weird. Can you imagine? Like we come back to the show and it's like
I'm kind of sad by that. I want a novella or something about those 30 years. I haven't even started reading it yet, but I don't want that gap to be just empty.
No, it's not. I think it's in the books.
But they said that there's a gap in the books, right? Time jump.
They've had I think the next book is out. We'll find out from Jeff. Jeff is in the Jeff knows. Hey, Lorena.
Hey, Lorena.
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, please smash that like button, folks. Thank you so much, you guys. It's been a pleasure as always, Jayne. I mean, we love these streams. We can talk forever. Yeah, and why Medina? Because Marco is heading there. Naomi's forcing Marco to abort.
How?
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna, man.
He's so headstrong. I don't.
I don't. Yeah.
What he could do is he could threaten to blow the ship, and then Philippe kills him. I mean, it could be. We don't know.
No, but Jeff is saying that he's definitely going to be in season 6.
Marco?
I think he's going to be in season 6 too.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I don't know. Okay, here we go. Jeff says the 30-year summary is at the beginning of the 7th book.
Okay.
Damn, there's so many books. I mean, fuck. So much books.
The 7th book.
Jesus Christ. And it's not even over. You know how I feel about things that are not over, Jayne. Curtis says a huge jump like that on a TV show will be interesting. I have never seen that big of a time jump in any TV show even. I'm trying to think if I have.
A 30-year time jump?
I don't think I've seen it on movies.
Not on a TV show, no.
I don't remember if I've seen it on a TV show. Maybe Star Trek?
No. You mean when they go from show to show, from like series to series? Yeah, but
it's not with this. I mean, it's kind of with the same characters because you catch up to like what the certain characters are like now within like that big of a time span, I
guess so.
Oh, hey, Zero Rewind is here. No worries. We're actually just wrapping it up. It's been like 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I hope we do this every week. Mind you, we might do it earlier next week. I have to talk to you about that, Jayne, to figure that out. But so going forward, I really enjoyed this episode. I hope Holden doesn't fall for the bullshit. And God, please, Amos, make it to freaking space already. Jesus Christ, that's.
It would be funny if he doesn't get there, like at all this season.
Like this season, he's on Earth the entire time. That would be kind of funny. What's the other thing that will be interesting? Actually, I was just thinking about that. Is if Amos goes to gets the ship, but the first place he goes to is the moon to see Avasarala because he knows he was there with her at the beginning of the season. So maybe he's gonna go and hook up with her first, and then she's gonna be like, well, dude, these dudes are talking about really starting a war with a belt, and now they've got that chick with the weird powers. So I don't know. I think maybe they're gonna maybe hook up first before Amos hooks up with Holden.
I think you may be right because if if the new, I don't know if he's a president or whatever he is, if he decides to go with the admiral's plan, Officer Rowland will use Amos as part of her backup plan to go around whatever they're doing. That would be so her to do that.
Yes, I agree. And I think that that could be exactly what's going to happen. E. Clay Thompson says, I love your shows, Nina and Jayne. I wish I could super chat y'all. You deserve it. Well, thank you so much. You're kind of indirectly helping here because this is what I need. I need watch time. So in order to get monetized, I got to get my watch hours. I think I'm about 2,700 out of 4,000. So you're kind of indirectly helping me. Yeah, you guys can all help me after this too. Just I have a live stream playlist. You can watch these live streams that are hours long over and over. And yeah, help me indirectly.
Let it play at night. Just leave it up.
Yeah, just let it play. Yeah, I know. Something went down with my PayPal too. It's a whole story, Lorena. I can't even get into
Lorena rocked those tip jars.
I know.
I'm too lazy to put all that together.
I tried to set one up and then my PayPal, like I can't even, I'll tell you after the show, but the PayPal screwed me over. They actually negatived my account for absolutely no reason. I'm not even joking you. I was like, what the hell? So now I'm trying to get a hold of them and it's impossible. It's impossible to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they do, but it doesn't work through my, apparently Mexico. You can't even reach them. So I wrote an email and my husband was like, you need to start making a video about how much PayPal sucks. And I was like, I might actually do that.
Have a lawyer send him a letter.
Girl, I mean, aren't you a lawyer? Maybe I should get you to write me a letter. Okay, so Curtis says, before I forget, did either of you see Mortal yet? Oh no, it's on my list. It's on my list, Curtis.
I have not seen it yet.
I'm sorry. I've just been so busy. I've just been so busy, but it is on my list, dude. It is on my list. I will watch it. Yes, Lorena, it's been a couple days for me that I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah.
Set up another one, maybe?
I just don't even know what to say. It's all bad. It's all bad. Yeah, apparently it's a good movie. According to Curtis, he says that it's a really good movie. Keith said, gotta bail now. Have a good night, y'all. Keith, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. We're going to wrap it up here too, folks. It was a great chat, Jayne. I loved it every minute, and it was really fun to have Scott here, so I hope he joins us next week as well. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Yeah, so watch my playlist. That's how we're gonna roll out. Next week, I can't wait for the next episode. The next 2 episodes are gonna be freaking epic.
I cannot wait.
Any last thoughts? Oh, do you want to tell people where they can find you? Here we go.
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews. I also post some pop culture commentary on occasion. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jayne. Yay! Please do. Please, everybody. Yes, have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much. You can catch me tomorrow on PJ's channel, Orville Nation. We'll be talking with Dark Matter creator Joseph Malazzi and a guest as well, special guest as well. So 5:30 Eastern on his channel. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next week, next Sunday. Woo! And we out. If I can find my outro. Here we go. Bye.